goodness. I'm gonna have to give me a nice Red Bull tomorrow. That or get up early, go for a nice walk. I'll let the air just wake me up because this shit's about to drain me. Okay. Okay, guys. I see we got a couple people in here. I know it's a short notice, but it's really not. I don't mind doing late Saturday. Late Saturday debates. Actually, these were the times. These were the times like 8 or 9 or some shit like that. But the other individual, you know, I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna wait. You know, I think I'm gonna wait for him to grow up. Specifically, I don't know. I think we gotta have a time, age limit and experience limit. If I'm talking about gaming, and you started playing games after the creation of online gaming, it's not gonna make sense, man. I'm not gonna know enough. Just not gonna know enough. Okay. Oh, oh shit. It's 9, but I'm tired. I don't know why I'm tired. I mean, the last live stream took it out of me because there was a rant, and it put a lot of energy in there. But I'm about to go dive into this one. Let me unblock this dude. Hope you don't get blocked again. If you get blocked again, you stay blocked. And you know who I'm talking about. Okay. Just a word of advice for the people that are looking to be unblocked. I'm not going through that long ass list. So you're gonna have to find a way to contact me with a link to your YouTube channel, so that I can go to your YouTube channel and manually unblock you. I'm not about to go release Pandora's box of people that have been blocked. No, you know, individuals, you want to be unblocked, hey, that's cool. We can deal with that. Okay. We gotta see what we in for tonight. Hoping no crazy shit.
Hello, hello. It appears that we are live.
Yep, we're live.
Well, in that case, may I introduce myself?
Yeah, sure.
Uh, all right. In that case, hello everyone. Hello everyone in the chat. My name is RETRONOMIKON. I'm a freelance voice actor in an upcoming video game, Immortal and the Death That Follows, a roguelike side-scrolling beat 'em up where you go and fight against your inner demon, form an inner gang, and try to escape an interdimensional prison for demigods. So, what are we here to talk about today, or discuss and all that?
Oh boy, I'm not really sure.
What I
let's the future of gaming.
future
Great, that's one of my
future
favorite
of
topics.
gaming.
The future
Okay
of the
then.
gaming industry.
Okay then. I'm always
Uh,
up to chat and all that, so let us chat about the future of gaming.
yeah. I believe it is in jeopardy. All media platforms are in jeopardy, whether it's TV shows, movies, or music. You know, these different sectors of entertainment, they're not able to get like the money that they used to. I mean, if you're doing a concert, you have to pay to get in. Uh, if you take the chance to put out a movie, you understand that somebody's gonna have to go out and buy it, or they could just wait. That's the new part. They could just wait for the movie to come out on like a digital platform. And guess what? They could wait, get it pirated, so they don't actually give any money to that process. They don't have to. With a concert, you're going to have to be there unless you really just want to go look at other people's experience, from cell phones on TikTok or YouTube. But normally, on a compared to a concert to a movie these days, that you'll probably want to go out to that concert. But when it comes to a movie, you know that that movie's going to a streaming service. You know that you'll be able to pirate it as soon as it goes to that streaming service, or you'll have that option um, to watch it at a reduced price. And I feel like gaming is similar to that in a way. I feel like for me, if it's a game that I don't like or I'm not really feeling, I can just wait. I have many other games to play, and I could skip that game, turn back around. It'll be on sale a year, two, maybe 6 months. Pick it up for a cheaper price. Not sure if that helps the developer at all, but the thing is, if I know and I've done my research, my boy Yellow is in the chat, and I have gaming intuition, which took many, many years to hone, knowing if a game is good. Doing my
Hmm.
research without a review, analyzing screenshots, analyzing minutes or even an hour of gameplay, participating in demos or betas, uh, talking to the developers, indie or triple A, watching interviews, looking at all showcases, any type of walkthroughs. And this is before review is even posted, and making a sound decision if this is a game that I'm willing to invest in, whether it's pre-order, or it's a day one purchase. Um,
Okay, so what you're saying is that future everything is in jeopardy because everything can be pirated, or because you have to buy things, and eventually
you
you
can
have to
wait for
pirate them
everything.
apparently.
There's no
Well,
urgency anymore.
yeah, like I say, is like no duh. That's how it's been for a long time. The thing is that again, most people like waiting is a natural thing of human nature and all that. Not everyone's going to have the immediate money to go up to a concert, or not everyone's going to be able to go up to the movie theater during a movie's theatrical run originally. Not to mention, there's not really a confirmation that everyone out there that's like waiting for the movie is going to definitively pirate it. And if there are people and I'm not doubting that there are people who pirate or download the thing for free. The thing is that the way that you're making it sound like you're it just sounds like you're trying to say that the pirating group is the majority instead of the minority that it actually is. Like for example, not everyone's going to like try to like wait for on a like I'm sorry, I do sometimes struggle with like putting my words together. This happens in like regular conversations,
That's okay. So
but the
let
thing
me
is, the thing
elaborate a little bit. It's
allow
not only
I
about
got
piracy. It's more like you wait to see if something's good, you decide not to. There was a Amsterdam, the movie just came out, it flopped. People are very picky, and people are also very cautious with their money now. So with Amsterdam, it looked like a movie that people wasn't gonna watch. I knew I didn't feel it, but it had amazing actors, it had amazing actresses. But I was like, you know what? These guys are great, but I don't care about that story. So, I'm just one normal person. Come to find out, everybody else felt the same way. This huge blockbuster of a movie flopped. It's I feel like
I know
if you're
it's a
if you're
it's a
if you're
tragedy.
not posting if you're not producing something that people really like, it it could fail. I see this in gaming all the time. I love a lot of indie type of games or
Can you
retro
give it?
style of games.
I was going to
um
say, can you give some small examples just out of genuine curiosity, like just a few games?
I got Asterigos. I know that a lot of other
Esther.
people decided not to get the game, even though it was $35 on PlayStation Plus or $40 for a total price. People decided not to pick the game up. It wasn't triple A enough, which is weird to me because if a game is triple A, it's gonna cost more money, which then people put more criticism on because they don't want to spend $60 or $70 for a game because they don't think it's good enough. But then again, Asterigos, it was $35, and people didn't think it was good enough for that price. So, you know, there's an example. You know, again, I got a whole bunch of indies I could name. What is this? Anno, Mutationum.
I, I know Mutationum. Yeah, I know that one. I have
Yeah.
that one on Steam myself,
Okay.
actually.
So, Lost Epic, Mini Monster Boy. I got a lot of indies. Big fan of indie. Tim Tim. I was in the early access program for that. Spirit of the North. I picked up the original game. The list goes on and on. Most
Yeah,
people don't associate me with indies, but I play a lot of indie games. Um,
yeah, so do I. So do I. And I'm saying this as someone who plays indies across all platforms, whether that be PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, or PC. I'm not exactly a picky person, if that makes sense. The thing is that usually while there is, that clear negative for discounts and all that, where, that it might not come as much of a profit or people might not notice it much or see like, oh, it's not worth the initial price and all that. At the same time, some people who are like, just looking at like cool games to get and all that, or something that that still may catch their eye and might be able to be like, oh hey, there's this game that looks really cool. Oh, it also has a deal right now. I could go ahead and get it because again, there's no confirmation that people won't take advantage of the deal. Well, it is unfortunate for the one Subade Scubadebop game you were talking about earlier. At the same time, there isn't exactly like confirmation of whether or not someone's going to like get that deal or not. Because again, that would be like saying like, oh, like Cyberpunk is on deal right now, but oh wait, it's not gonna do well or something like that, which is the opposite of what happened because Cyberpunk's ended up selling really well. Also, I can also say that that's pretty much here to mainly due to the fact of Cyberpunk Edgerunners debuting on Netflix, which got a lot of positive attraction. And at the time, there was also a deal going on to promote the anime, and that also ended up
yeah, the game
getting a
was
lot of
about
sales.
$24, and they had fixed the game.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
compared to the bad reputation that it got in the beginning, I don't think any of this type of surge of sales would have happened. Um, but I understand where you're going at. But yeah, with Cyberpunk, completely different deal. Game was also cheaper than Asterigos, and people love open world and
Yeah.
people love first person, so it was pretty much
And
a knockout
what
hit.
what if you don't mind me asking, what was Asterigos on exactly? Was it a PlayStation exclusive, PlayStation PC? Was it
It's
on
a
multi-plat?
multi-platform title.
Okay.
It's on all platforms.
And again, have you heard of the term niche? just out of just
I
like
know
out of
that.
curiosity. Yeah, the thing is that like again, that's also a term that's used for like games that have like select small audiences or like again, it the thing is that just because it has those elements of open world and first person doesn't automatically mean it's going to be a smash hit. For all we know, it could be the fault of like lack of advertising on like the marketer's end. For all we know, it could be because of something that may have happened behind the scenes. Not saying that any like behind the scenes stuff happened or anything like that, as I wouldn't know myself. But I'm just listing small examples. Like for example, on a video game called Aeon Must Die, there was a big controversy that happened around that game after it debuted at State of Play, due to the workers not really dealing with a lot of garbage from their CEO. Not to mention, there was also full audio and pictorial evidence as well, and that's what led to that game not selling as well.
So, a boycott?
Yes, a boycott.
Well, Asterigos isn't an open world game, it's a Souls like game. And
Well,
it's
you
kind of
gave.
weird that after Elden Ring did so well in the beginning of this year, people would reject any and most all other games that have soul elements this year. I think there's been three. Uh,
Well,
Solstice,
have you.
which is not a complete Souls game but has Souls elements.
Uh,
Asterigos, and the Steel game with the puppet. Not Liza P. It was another puppet type of game that was like a Souls game that came out and I
oh.
believe was rejected by the community. What I don't understand, just specifically about the Souls community, since I supported the Souls games since the very inception with Demon Souls on the PS3.
Okay.
I'm picky when it comes to Souls. I picked up Demon Souls remake, and Bloodborne all day one. I stayed far away from Dark Souls because of how it was created and why it was created. I picked up Asterigos not knowing that it was a Souls game, um, but enjoyed it way more once I started playing it. I feel like it's a weird thing. Like Elden Ring will do good, Dark Souls 3 will do good, Bloodborne universally loved, not financially a blockbuster, but other games have this element that people say they love. They love this challenge of difficult enemies that are able to kill you in almost one shot. But once they get other games like that, they reject it. Um,
I can actually very easily explain that with a couple of things. First off, the reason why Elden Ring does as well as it is simply brand recognition. Not to mention, this is something that From Software is, or at least this very formula is something From Software is very well known for. And the thing is that if you notice that over the time that all the games that sold from them, from Demon Souls all the way up to Elden Ring, have sold increasingly well, especially for a game that's done by a niche community like the Souls community. The thing is that the reason why Elden Ring gets a lot of traction while like other smaller titles don't is a not only because of whole recognition thing, but B also because of how there's a certain way that From Software does it, where again you can go ahead and like try to like shorten down the Souls genre to just being one thing, where it's like, oh, it's simply because of it being difficult and you can die in one hit or anything like that from enemies. Where while there are people who do like that big challenge, at the same time the challenge isn't exactly in like how difficult the opponents are, but more so figuring out their patterns and knowing that you're becoming stronger and eventually being able to defeat that enemy, which gives a lot of people a satisfying feeling of completion. Kind of like what you get with roguelikes, where each one is like a different run, and you keep going until you either complete the thing or until you die, and even then you get to continuously upgrade your character until you're able to complete an entire run.
cool.
That,
Um,
that, 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 that
I
that's it. Just
I've
cool.
I agree a little bit what you're saying, but knowing that Dark Souls was not on the level of Elden Ring and Bloodborne, like I said, universally loved, not financially a blockbuster. It's a weird thing. There's so many people that love Bloodborne that didn't even play it. There are people that love Bloodborne that don't even own the system it was originally on. Um, I
Well, the
hate
thing
the
is that not every
Bloodborne
again.
craze because I feel like if you love it as much as people say they love it, you would have played it by now. Again, the last traction we had for it when it came to sales was 2 million. That doesn't track with me. Uh, the amount of people that I hear talking about this game every day as if it just came out or wanting it on another platform, even though the developer doesn't even post about the game anymore, it's
Well, yeah,
weird.
Are you talking about Japan Studio or From Software?
Talking about From Software.
Well, the thing is that one, they're focused on their current games. Two, you also can kind of consider the fact of how there's also that one porting company that PlayStation, or either PlayStation or Sony, whichever one. I'm just gonna go with PlayStation for simplicity. Nixies, or which I believe that's what it's called, Nixies or Mixies or something. Yeah. But the thing is that of course, because knowing that, for example, with the Spider-Man port, Mixies is the main one, like, behind all that, with Insomniac helping out occasionally alongside that, as far as I'm aware. But I'm not fully caught up with the development of stuff like that. But
yeah, Nixes is doing 2 Spider-Man ports.
Nixies.
Iron Galaxy is doing Uncharted. Sony Santa Monica did God of War by themselves, and 505 helped out with Death Stranding. So that's how this year went.
Not to mention, the reason why people always like, I'm just gonna say this. Have you ever considered the reason why people end up asking for a PC port of the game? It's usually because people, again, as much as people love a game, people aren't going to spend hundreds of dollars on a brand new plastic box just to simply play one game. Well, and I know I'm pretty sure I can guess what you're going to say.
I love this logic.
I know what you're going to say. Now, if you actually let me continue, you would actually be able to maybe be able to understand. I cannot.
Okay, I have an amazing rebuttal, so I hope you're ready for that.
No, because I'm not finished with my sentence yet. I was going to say the reason why. Good, I shall. So the thing is that how there's also the how people like to emulate the Nintendo exclusives and all that.
Yeah, I know about that.
The thing is that the reason why is because, like, for example, cartridges aren't going to last forever. Those older consoles aren't going to last forever. Over time, they're going to decay. Over time, they're going to break down. And over time, they will no longer be playable. That's the reason why people emulate. Not to mention, the thing is that not everyone's going to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on, like, multiple plastic boxes. Just go ahead and play select games. And while there is the likelihood or the possibility that, they'll go ahead and discover more games on that system and, keep playing on that system. Like, for example, that's kind of like the case where I was when I got my PS4, where, like, originally, like, I got it as I wanted a console for myself, and as the PS4 was the first console I ever bought on my own. The thing is that, like, I mainly got it for that, and then I eventually found, there's all a bunch of these other games I haven't been able to play for a long time, so I went and played those, and, I enjoyed those. The thing is that that's mostly, like, it's not going to be the case for everyone, as there's some people who want to play on just their specific platform that they already have, due to them already having grown in that ecosystem. Also, to Capfly saying go play PC games, yeah, I play a multitude of things. Again, platform, PS5, Series X, PC, Switch OLED. I have no shame. But yeah, basically the point is that not everyone has the fortune of being able to afford multiple consoles at once, let alone being able to, like, buy a PS4 straight out of pocket. Plus, last I recall, didn't they stop production of PlayStation 4s currently? I mean, like, right now it's not as, like, common to find a new PS4. And I know how you can go ahead and say that there's, like,
they never stopped the production of PS4. Who told you that?
Well, it was from a report I read a long time ago. I'm not exactly in the loop for everything, but there are certain things I pay attention to.
So, are you representing PC right now, or are you representing, like, all gamers? You say you have all platforms, so I just wanted to know.
I am everyone and everything. I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I am all.
You don't seem to have the knowledge, because PlayStation didn't discontinue the PS4 because they're still releasing games over there. It'd be counterproductive for them to do that. Yeah, this is just a fact. This is not me guessing. This is what I know.
Oh, hello. Another person enters the chat. Is this going to be another situation? Wait, is this a 2v1 situation?
Did somebody enter the chat? Because I'm on Google right now.
Yes, I believe someone named True Witty.
Fucking True Witty. True Witty, you got to mute. You got to keep your mic muted, bro.
Don't worry about it.
You just keep your mic muted, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm just being quiet. I'm just
debate. It's a debate, bro. It's
okay.
A debate.
It's a mano-y-mano situation.
Yeah. 1v1. Okay, people don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a new plastic box because I'm
I said multiple plastic boxes, JTech.
I know, but do you understand? You're like the 40th PC guy I've debated that said the same thing.
Multi-platform person.
No. But I understand that, but do you know the logic you told me? Everybody has told me that.
I play, yes, and I'm surprised that if. Well, then again, to be
I
fair, if it
mean,
didn't work the first 47 times, then I guess
okay, so
this time, so I guess that was a little bit of a.
I don't have $400 to buy a new plastic box for Bloodborne, but I have $1,000 for a new graphics card every 3 years.
Except I don't.
No, I mean, I'm using the logic y'all use. Like, you're saying no one wants to go buy a specific platform to play the specific exclusive, so they just wait it out on an open platform, i.e. the PC, for the developer to hopefully bring the game over, or the game gets old enough to get emulated. Right? Right?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this.
It's not my logic. It's your logic. We wait for the game to get old enough so it get emulated, or we wait for a developer. Don't do that. Don't. We'll cut the fucking debate. Excuse me. We'll cut the debate off, and I'll go to fucking sleep. So listen. This is your logic. This is the people that sympathize with PC. We can't afford $400.
PC. Damn, I didn't know we were homeless people.
Cool.
Man. Excuse me, could you please offer us a PlayStation exclusive in our trying times?
It is weird, though.
Okay, so the thing is that about that whole graphics card situation. For example, allow me to bring up the transition from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4, because not every game on PlayStation 4 was also being developed for PlayStation 3. As over time, they stopped making games for PS3 around 2015. The thing is that, people had, not to mention with the menus and everything, and not even the system being like different, and the fact that you couldn't take all your PS3 games and play them on the PS4. Like, you can't take a PS3 disc and just put it into your PS4, unless there's certain situations, like, for example, Call of Duty Ghosts, where if you put in the PS3 disc, you could go ahead and get a $10 discount on the original Call of Duty on PS4. Sorry, I ran out of breath. And the thing is that the reason why PC gamers usually go for the graphics card instead of going a new console is because they get to keep all their games that they currently have instead of having to migrate to an entirely new ecosystem or potentially new system that they'll have to get used to. Well, I'm not one that has to deal with that because, again, I'm on multiple systems, and I believe my PC is perfectly fine, and I'm happy with the current specs I have, which, for reference, isn't like the major stuff, 39 or anything like that. Like, I'm still on a 1650 Super, and I'm running games just fine on my end. But then again, I'm not exactly a picky person. Again, I'm one that plays on all platforms, so, I'm just saying that the reason why...
I just wanted to explain this to you, and I explain it to every person that I go up against. All of my PlayStations were $400. My last 3 PlayStations were $400. You add that up, it is well under the price of the latest graphics card. That's why I can't agree with this. Hey, I can't afford $400 plastic box to play Bloodborne.
It's not the thing. It's not the fact that we can't. It's not. It's not us not being able to afford $400 for a new system. It's that we don't want to use it on another plastic box, especially if, for example, most PC gamers mainly rely on just their PC for their gaming. And not to mention most people that do end up, playing on PC gaming, and most people who do get a console, they usually end up getting a Nintendo Switch for the portability, say for the current existence of the Steam Deck, which kind of.
But doesn't that contradict what you guys just said about PlayStation?
The difference being is that the thing is that the PlayStation is already a system because again, you can't take the PS4 on the go unless you have one of those monitor things those extra accessory things where you where it has a screen on it.
Okay, so the Switch doesn't follow the same rules because it's a handheld, even though I'm well aware of the emulation that's going on with the Switch on PC.
Not everyone emulates on Switch because otherwise, I'm just saying, didn't the Switch sales eclipse that of the PlayStation 4 quite recently?
Exactly. because there are people like yourself, what you're saying, hey, Switch doesn't abide by the same rules. I'm going to go support this company, but the
because
PlayStation company,
it's
excuse
not
me,
about supporting a
hold on,
company.
let me finish. But the
Okay.
PlayStation company, fuck those guys. We're going to wait it out and hope that they do what we want. And when they do, we will prove our point that we never needed them in the first place.
The thing is that again, the point isn't about like whatever company it is. As again, I couldn't give like less of a care about like what the company is. Because again, regardless, the only times I ever like say not to support a company is if they have like shady business practices underneath. Like for example, areas like Limestone Games. The thing is that like again, I made the point about the Switch because of practicality.
I know
Because
about
again,
that.
why would I need why do I need one plastic like tower for a few exclusives? That again, like I'm not saying, and this again, don't take this as me like saying the exclusives are bad or anything like that. Because as someone who also plays those, I like those exclusives, as I do think those are genuine good games. What I mean by this is that like most people aren't willing to go ahead and like spend extra money on an extra thing, for a select number of games.
Like who
For
are we talking about?
I'm not giving any specific examples. Like I don't like like I'm not really referring to specific people per se. I'm talking about like the logic of like most people that I have like listened to in the past. Like I don't remember all their names, but
Okay, so the people you associate with and the people I don't associate, but I do know, went out to buy a PS4 for Bloodborne,
I
God
bought a
of
PS4
War,
so I could have my own
Horizon Zero
console.
Dawn, Last of Us Part 1 and 2, Uncharted 4, so on,
You mean
so
I
on.
was gonna say you mean Last of Us Remaster because Part One's the PS5 one.
Yeah, Last of Us a remaster, or Last of Us Part 2. There were tons of exclusives that sold the PS4. The PS4 was the console that was able to achieve 100 million console sales without its portability. Just being a home console, making it, from what I believe, the third the third PlayStation gaming console that sold over 100 million. So people wanted it for the exclusives, and it didn't matter if they needed an extra box; they went out and got it. What I'm saying
Did
now is that illusion is gone. I just
Have
wanted
you
to
also
know.
considered have you also considered the sales of other third-party titles like Call of Duty and Fortnite and such? Because because this is I'm talking about before they had crossplay and all that. Because from what I recall, that didn't happen until around 2018, 2019, I believe, if I recall correctly. Or because again, like last I recall, like a good chunk of people end up buying those consoles mainly because of those third-party games or like the massive popular ones like Call of Duty. And again, Sony themselves have also proven this by their talks about the whole Microsoft Activision, acquisition stuff. And hey, that rhymes somewhat.
Okay, so the people are buying PlayStations only to play multiplats. That's been known for a while. I've known about that for a very long time. That came into fruition before we even had the situation with crossplay. However, crossplay was very common. Just people don't want to talk about it because it didn't suit their needs. We
Okay,
had
then give
crossplay with
example.
PC with what is it, Rocket League and Final Fantasy 14, DC Universe Online. We had crossplay with a lot of games. It was Xbox that refused to do crossplay during the 360 and the PS3 generation. So they only brought that
Wait a
topic
minute.
up.
Wait, hold up, Olaf. So you're saying that Xbox refused it during the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation, but you bring up examples from the PS4 generation. Not to mention, last I recall, during back a while, because I remember this, is that the one company that didn't want to have crossplay in their game was Sony when it came to Fortnite.
When you're talking about crossplay, are you talking about cross consoles or crossplay with a different platform?
Every everything. I'm talking
Okay,
about
you're
crossplay
talking
with
about cross
everything.
console.
I said everything, unless you
No,
count.
we can't say everything because we already had crossplay with PC. We were crossplaying with PC before you knew we were crossplaying. And this is what a lot of people forget. We weren't crossplaying with other consoles. because other consoles didn't crossplay with us, and it just was never heard of. It was Xbox that brought it to the forefront because they were losing. They wanted their platform to look like a pro-consumer console, so they brought that up. They started doing crossplay with Nintendo Switch, and then they tried to drag PlayStation's name through the mud because they couldn't beat them during the holiday season with the Call of Duty promotion, so they tried to make PlayStation look like the bad guy. Then after months of pressure, I believe it was August of that year, PlayStation finally gave in and announced that they were going to do crossplay. But then once PlayStation did crossplay, other developers that wanted Sony to do crossplay didn't do crossplay. Crossplay was not a main focal point of Call of Duty, even though PlayStation had nothing to do with it. Activision didn't put it in there. We had Battlefields that didn't have it in there. There were many other multiplayer games and third-party titles that did not have crossplay. So even though Xbox tried to make it seem like it was a PlayStation thing, it really was up to developers. And they did not add crossplay. There's games to this day that still don't have crossplay. So, it's not a PlayStation problem. It was, I need to make my system look like it's a pro-consumer problem, so we're going to paint these dudes as the bad guy. And it worked. Because years later, even you are blaming PlayStation.
Except I wasn't trying to blame PlayStation. I was bringing up stuff that was brought up in previous articles and all that. Not to
I understand, but this was all a plan to make PlayStation look like the bad guy. They've been doing crossplay with PC for so many years. The platform that wants so many of these amazing games on their platform, they played nice with you guys for so many years. But when it came to the topic of, oh, this guy doesn't support crossplay, everybody forgot at that very moment they were currently doing crossplay with a very popular MMO by the name of Final Fantasy XIV. And it wasn't only crossplay between PS4 and PC, it was crossplay between PS4, PC, and PS3. Just like DC Universe. But everybody forgot about that.
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure a lot of people kind of forgot.
Did you know about that? Did you know about 3 generations or 3 platforms of crossplay for Final Fantasy XIV?
No, because I didn't know about DC Universe Online.
I mean, but that's the whole thing. We're all supposed to have this common knowledge. Instead of running to paint one person as the bad guy, we should do common sense research.
Not to mention, did you consider the reason why Call of Duty started to do the exclusivity deals with PlayStation was because of the PS4 being more successful because of the Xbox One overall? I'm pretty sure everyone unanimously agreed over time that the Xbox One was like not exactly the best platform out there.
Yeah.
Than Virtual Boy.
But even though it wasn't a best platform, they had horrible gamers. And that's made a lot of different developers, not just Activision, easy to just partner up with PlayStation. It doesn't matter that your platform is bad, but if your gamers refuse to buy games, it makes it an easy decision to go the other way. Xbox couldn't get their gamers to buy games for the life of them.
Every console has bad gamers, JTech. Like, every single one of them.
Let me explain this
you believe it or not.
In a way that you can understand. The Xbox gamers that were gamers on the 360 were not actually Microsoft's gamers. So they went back home to PlayStation when the PS4 came out. So then Xbox was left with just original
between Xbox and Microsoft gamers. I didn't even know there was Microsoft gamers. Are you talking
about PC? Let me just say Xbox gamers. Let me simplify this real quick. So, when the 360 came out a year ahead of the PS3, PS2 gamers couldn't wait. Some of them defected and went to get an Xbox 360. Once the PS3 came out and was found to be a $600 console, even more PS2 gamers went to get an Xbox 360. With 2 years of not a good year for PS3, more PS2 gamers went to the 360. Now, when the PS3 started to turn things around in 2009 all the way to 2013, more PS2 gamers that were turned into Xbox 360 gamers started to come back home. When we found out that, I was already on PlayStation, so I'm not going to say we. When they found out that PlayStation was $100 cheaper than the Xbox One, more PS2 gamers that turned into 360 gamers came back home to PlayStation. So what happens then? You don't have gamers that have an open mind, because the PS2 had an amazing library of games that opened the minds of so many different gamers. You don't have those diverse gamers, those gamers that will go out and buy games that are completely different day one. They all return back home with PlayStation with the PS4. So what do you have? You don't have a lot of people. So when Xbox invested in some of these amazing new IPs like Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, Rise Son of Rome, and even the timed exclusivity or the permanent exclusivity now of Dead Rising 3, it didn't even matter. There weren't enough diverse gamers to actually support these games. So even though Xbox and Microsoft was doing their best to bring them new IPs and exclusives, they didn't have the gamers they thought they had because they had already left. So it is a such thing as a bad gamer, because if you don't have a good gamer, they're not going to buy your stuff. And if you don't have a person that's going to buy your stuff, that word starts to get around the gaming industry, and the gaming developers don't want to really do any major deals with you because they know their games aren't going to sell. Yeah, they're going to make that contract money where you're paying them to put this content on your platform exclusively, or put that entire game on your platform exclusively, like Tomb Raider. You remember that? Every Tomb Raider, like
No,
two
not
of
really,
them.
because
Okay, let me explain. I understand.
I grew up on Nintendo stuff. I know what Tomb Raider is. I didn't grow up on
Okay,
it, but I know what it is.
I'm not talking about Tomb Raider PlayStation 1. I'm talking about the reboot, which was on Xbox for an entire year. Three of the games back to back. And when they came out on PlayStation, even though PlayStation fans were upset that they had to wait an entire year to play the game, it still sold better over here. That's what I'm talking about. Xbox did that last gen. They were so desperate and defeated last gen that they were buying Tomb Raider reboots for an entire year. And their gamers still didn't buy it. Again, when so much of this continuously happens, when games just sell better on PlayStation than on Xbox, not because the gap was so far away, but because people just wasn't energized over there. No game developer wants to partner up with you. So yes, it is a such thing as a bad gamer, a consumer that even though they're given the world, they still don't want to buy the content. And it makes you look bad as a brand, which actually happened with Xbox. I don't blame Microsoft for trying. I blame the Xbox fans for not eating the food. They had good food for the first 2 years of the console gen, but for some reason they all decided not to support it. Even when Microsoft partnered up with Insomniac, which made Ratchet and Clank and Resistance, Xbox fans went to the internet to brag about getting one of our studios, getting one of our developers to make an exclusive, but once the game came out, they didn't buy it. So again, that's a bad gamer. You'll run to the internet to brag, but you won't run to the fucking store to buy the game. The game flops. The studio goes back to PlayStation. They make a fucking Ratchet and Clank 2016. Does good. Comes out with a shitty ass movie. Does bad. Gets a fucking deal with Disney. Disney likes what they did with Sunset Overdrive, not because it was a financial masterpiece, but because of the gameplay mechanics. Teamed up, did Spider-Man. Spider-Man's good. Sony buys them. You don't get a Sunset Overdrive Part 2 on Xbox, but I hear Xbox fans bitching about it all the time, even though they didn't buy the first one. So, bad gamer. You see? They were given the world. They didn't support it. Now they want it, even though they weren't going to support it. Then Game Pass was created because Xbox fans didn't buy games, and Phil Spencer didn't know how to get gamers to actually be interested in Xbox. So they had the smart idea to give them as many games as they possibly could for $9 or $15. No, sorry, $10 or $15 a month, which is what we have now with Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. So it's important to know your history, but I'm more of a console gamer, so these are things that I saw unfold in front of my eyes. So I have to disagree when you say there's no such thing as a bad gamer.
I didn't say there was no such thing as a bad gamer. I said bad gamers exist on all platforms.
Over on
Again,
PlayStation, we can get the game to 30 million copies sold. On Xbox, not so much.
Which game are you saying?
Spider-Man,
30 million?
God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Didn't God of War only make like 5 million at launch or something like that? Hold up, let me look this up. Give me a minute.
You're talking about at launch. I'm talking about lifetime. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
So why are you talking about?
I see it. 20 million copies sold. Okay.
Okay, so I don't. Okay, whatever. The thing is, bad gamers on all sides. What do you mean by that?
Basically saying that saying that people who will flock to like whatever and all that, or like your definition you said, or saying ones that won't support the company and all that. Like I thought you were going by definition of like people who will like brag and argue and like whine and all that, or like talk about that stuff on the internet. That exists across all platforms. That's what modern console warring essentially has gone down to, where it's just like
Not talking
mostly
about
people,
that. Like over here on the consoles, if you're a good gamer, you're going to buy those, at least the first party exclusives made by the company that created the hardware. So that money goes back into the studios, so you can get higher quality games next time around, which is what's been happening with PlayStation over the last 7-8 years. But on Xbox, we would never know about that because it didn't happen. So they had to defact to Game Pass in order to get people interested in the brand. Nintendo never had that problem because, as you see with the Switch, their games sell like fucking pancakes. 40, 30, 20 million copies. They didn't have that problem with the Switch. I'm talking about the recent.
The Wii U.
Yeah, I know. We all know the Wii U, but we're talking about right now. The platforms that are out right now that led into this generation, that led into this landscape right now. We're not talking about the Wii U. We know the Wii U was a failure. We're talking about the Switch. The Switch, the PS4, PS5. This is how you have a good console and a good community. People buying your games so you can get better games next time.
Wait, so you're saying that the PS4 and the PS5 are in the same generation or something?
No, I'm saying they're in the same bracket with the community actually buying games so that the following time that same studio can produce a higher quality game. We wouldn't have gotten God of War Ragnarok if PlayStation gamers didn't buy the original game.
And to be fair, we wouldn't have God of War 2018 if people didn't buy the previous games.
True. But you see how that works.
The thing is that one thing I just find myself kind of like hard to understand is that you're saying that just because Game Pass exists, that means like all Xbox gamers don't buy games.
Never said that.
It sounds like, well, that's what it came off as.
Well, you're
saying that, like,
twisting
Xbox
my
gamers
words
don't-
because I said
I'm not trying
Game
to
Pass exists because people didn't buy games. The creation of Game Pass came after 2 years of Xbox failing when it came to head-to-head competition with what console sold the most, what games multi-platform were selling better. Exclusives, even though they didn't have the same studios, there were certain exclusives that Microsoft, the company, thought was going to do good for Xbox, such as a Halo 5 or a Halo or Gears 4 or something like that, and they just didn't sell as good as they wanted it to. Then, year over year, game sales got worse and worse on Xbox, not just for first-party titles, but for multi-platform titles. They had no other choice but to continue to have interest in that brand by finding a way to get these guys to play games. They had foregone the idea of forcing them to buy the games because they knew that wasn't working for the first 2 years, so Game Pass was created to give them the opportunity to hopefully play the games that they refused to buy. Game Pass was created.
Except Game Pass also, encourages people to buy those games because
I'm not saying I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I'm letting you know why it was created. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just giving you a little bit of history, which you obviously don't know, on why the service was created. If you look at the date, you'll know that I'm telling the truth. Because I believe Game Pass came out after 2 years. Yeah, about after 2 years after the beginning of the Xbox the Xbox One generation.
Uh, that's not actually true. Is it didn't come because you're saying it came out in 2015. It came out in 2017.
When did Game Pass come out?
2017.
Oh shit! Sorry, my fault. They started putting
I'm
PC.
not gonna
They started putting games on PC. That was the Xbox Play Everywhere, right? Something like that.
And
Does
that's still
anybody know
and
what
that's
that
still
name was?
Xbox Play Anywhere. It was basically a thing where like if you bought the game on Xbox
It
One
was an
or
incentive to get more people to buy the games. Yeah.
and the thing is that if you got on Xbox, because they still do it with games today on like Series X and all that. If you bought the game on the Xbox, you would also get access to the PC version as well. I mean, you wouldn't have to like worry about double dipping and all that. And overall, was seen as
PC.
was a consumer friendly option. And the same thing still goes on for that kind of incentive still goes on both through Xbox Play Anywhere and through Game Pass Ultimate through giving PC Game Pass too.
Yeah. They tried a lot, as you see. They tried a lot. They wanted people to get interested in the brand. So whether they were doing beneficial tactics that would help gamers play more games at a cheaper price, or they were doing dirty tactics by dragging PlayStation's name through the mud when it came to crossplay, they did what they needed to do in order to survive. And they did survive, but they did not come out of that generation unscathed. So we're still sitting at the situation as Game Pass exists today, and game sales for Xbox are still low. We can blame Game Pass, or we can blame the activities of the Xbox fans that were left over after the 360 generation, which is what I'm going to go with, because we do all know that games sell less on Xbox before and after the creation of Game Pass. So I don't think that Game Pass not existing would have fixed the problem.
Did you consider the reason why the PS5 is sold more, or why that sells more copies, simply because of PlayStation's popularity? As much as you'd like to say that Xbox was trying to
Whose fault is
drag it
that?
down to the dirt, I'm not saying it was anyone's fault. As I was saying, the
I
point of the
mean,
whole thing was
let's elaborate. Both systems launched around the same time. Like, there should be no popularity for PlayStation over Xbox. They launched at the same time. Last generation of Xbox One and the PS4 launched around the same time as well. Like, it was really up to the gamers.
It's simple. The PS4 was far more popular and seen as a far more successful system, which I'm not denying. Yeah, it was a far more successful system and sold a lot more. And
And why was it more
systems.
successful? What was the reason that a gamer would go
Simple.
out and buy a PS4 over an Xbox?
Again, simple popularity. Not to mention there were features.
So
that
it
they
was
had
just
on the
popular? It was just features? It wasn't the games?
Are we talking about PS5? Are we talking about PS4?
We're talking about both platforms. Both platforms launched within days of the Xbox platforms.
I'm pointing out I was pointing out the PS5 is because of the known popularity of PS4, and because that system was received really well. Of course, people were going to be really excited for the PS5. The reason why the PS4 sold more is because of the anti-consumer practices that Xbox was trying to perform. For example, remember the whole thing about game DRM? Remember the whole thing about having to stay connected to the internet 24/7?
They have that now, but nobody's bitching. They have that now, but nobody's bitching. Think you can access Game Pass whenever you want without internet?
I'm talking about the features of the system itself, not Game Pass. As Game Pass is an optional thing, not something that you're required. If you're looking for a required service, that would be Xbox Live Gold. The thing is that the Xbox had those features and required, to be connected to the internet constantly. The thing is that's not exactly the same required for the Xbox Series X, as I've played that system offline multiple times, and it works just fine for multiple games. As long as it's a game I own and it's not one that's on Game Pass, as Game Pass obviously does require internet because it needs to check to make sure you actually have Game Pass or have the game.
That's DRM.
Yeah. The thing is that the DRM gets automatically installed on the system, from what I recall, for games that you own and all that. Not to mention again, because the thing is that the Xbox main menu for games that you own, there's nothing on there except for saying whether it's on Xbox Series S or X version. But if it's a game you have via Xbox Live Gold or Xbox Game Pass, it'll have the Gold or Game Pass logo on the bottom left corner. And the thing is that those ones are the ones that require internet access simply because it knows that you don't own them yet. as I was saying, the reason why the PS4 got more successful is because it had counters to the whole thing. Had counters to that. For example, for like the DRM thing or like wait, it wasn't it wasn't just a DRM thing, but it was also like a game trading thing, where like there were certain like licenses like attached to specific games and all on the Xbox One before they released that day one update that removed that due to the backlash that the system got when that initial reveal was there. Because if you do you recall that one video where it was like two of the people at PlayStation were saying like, oh, how to trade in your games, and it was just passing along a disc. So he's saying that they weren't going to try and like put practices on the system and all that. Not to mention the system sold $100 less than the base Xbox One.
I was waiting for you to get to the real reason, because all of this other stuff gamers deal with all the time.
Exclusives. I'm guessing
no,
waiting for me to
you
say.
just said it. $100 more. See, let me ask you a question. Honest question. Did you buy either of the PS4 or the Xbox One during day one?
No, because I was 13 at the time.
So I'm gonna explain to you the real reason why adults at that time, myself included, decided to buy the PS4 over the Xbox One. So one system was $100 less than the other. One company believed that forcing someone to use a camera that you weren't going to support anymore was the way to go, versus Sony was like, well, we do have an awesome camera and it's better than the Kinect, but if you want to buy it, it's up to you. We're not going to force you to buy it, and we're not going to bundle it with the console. It was the options. No. When it comes with listen, when gamers are
if you recall during the whole meeting that the Xbox One had, a lot of people noticed that it had a lot more focus on TV than actually playing games.
I understand all of this. I was there. I saw all of it. But when it came down to it, it was the price. It's always going to come down to the price when it comes to the consumer, especially when Sony, for the first time, is in your face. Now, previous generation, Sony wasn't in your face. And no, they didn't have a price advantage or price parity. They had launched their system at $600 a year after you were already established. But for the first time since then, Sony was coming out with their platform right next to yours. And yes, they had a $400 system because they did not bundle their camera. This is something that Xbox knew was wrong, because the following year they unbundled the camera. And guess what they sold the console for? The same price as the PS4, which was $400. Meaning they believed that their camera was $100. Even though the camera that stood the test of time, that was also included in VR, was the $60 camera for the PS4. So,
well, fun fact about that, the funny thing about that is that if you have an Xbox 360 Kinect and an adapter to put to your PC, you can actually use it for full motion tracking for VR and all that. Now,
how many people use that?
Multiple. You'd actually be pretty surprised.
I would definitely be surprised. Find a way to get me a video of that being done.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, Phil Spencer made a promise for high fidelity VR, and he failed. Phil Spencer, Xbox, Microsoft seems to want to have nothing to do with VR when it comes to the Xbox platform. I do remember they had an Oculus viewing VR app on the Xbox One, but it wasn't the full experience. You could only view stuff. So yeah.
Speaking of VR, that's like one small gripe I have with the PS5 is that they didn't bring back a 3D Blu-ray playback on the PS5 for like VR, because honestly, like, I would have loved to see that on the system.
Okay.
I know that's kind of random, but I'm just saying that that would have been, Also, to everyone in the chat, like, yeah, I was 13 at the time. Yes, I'm a youngin', despite my voice. It's called voice acting. This is actually what my regular voice sounds like, but it doesn't sound as like presentable, so that's why I usually go with this. Not to mention, people ask me to do an impression of the Postal Dude from the Postal game series.
Yeah. So, I talk to a lot of younger people that see the PC with many options.
honestly, like, before you said the whole, like, talk about PC stuff, like, I was going to say that's a major yikes.
Well, it can be a major yikes, but for some weird reason, younger people that support the PC believe they know more history of gaming than somebody that knows the history of gaming before they were
Simple,
born.
they use Google.
I know, but you got so many things wrong. It's not
Or did
about what somebody else decides to teach you about what actually happened in history. It's about you being there.
I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about the entire internet.
We're talking about the gaming community. We're talking about the gaming industry history. There are some
Which
things
one? Are we
that
talking about Are we talking about the gaming community on Twitter? Are we talking about the gaming community on 4chan? Are we talking about the gaming community on Reddit? Or what are we talking
as
about
a whole.
Because, like,
And it just seems like the newer people like yourself that are younger, you believe you know more about gaming than us. But
now we're just. I don't believe that I know more than any specific.
well, I
person.
wanted to bring something
just
up. You
act more
said something
mature about
smart
that.
out of your mouth, and it was you thought that I was going to go in a route of exclusivity, and I could have done it many times. It does make the platform more popular always. It's not the feature, it's not the price, it is the exclusive.
Yeah,
It is.
especially with the Nintendo, since that sells a lot more. And honestly, like, I'm sorry to say this, man, but I play my Switch a lot more than the PlayStation. I'm really sorry
Hey,
about
that's you. I know who you were. That's why I invited you.
that.
I expect you to be playing any platform besides PlayStation more than
Except I do.
PlayStation.
Except that's mostly due to me not having as much time to, like, sit down and, like, play stuff. Because the thing is that, yes, I actually have a busy life.
I understand, man. You
Are
you
sure?
do
Because it seems like
understand that
it
when
sounds like-
I invite people here, I expect them to be opposite of me. I do not expect them to play PlayStation more than any of the other platforms they support. That is
even though I played my PS3 a lot more than my Xbox 360 in my childhood, and the only reason I went to 360 was because of my PlayStation 3 suffering the yellow light of death, and even then, that relationship only lasted like a few years before I switched back to PS4 simply because I wanted a console of my own. Sorry, I just wanted to get that all in one breath because I thought that would be impressive.
That's not impressive. Things happen.
Nah, I wasn't trying to be impressive.
The grand scheme of it is, if you have exclusives, it is going to make your platform more favorable. It's going to make it more popular. Even if you buy the platform without buying the exclusive, it is the exclusive that makes your head turn.
Are you sure about that? Because the thing is that it isn't just that. Because again, I point out the Xbox One issues and a bunch of, like, those restrictive features that had originally. That's what's also turned a lot of heads towards the PlayStation 4 as well. It wasn't just the exclusives, because the way you said it and the way you communicate it, it sounds a lot like you're trying to, like, make it out as if the PlayStation exclusive were the only drawing attraction to it.
No, it's not. The drawing attraction in the 2013 was the price. Years after, when we started getting exclusives like the Order 1886 or Bloodborne or Uncharted 4, it was those that kept people there. It was those and the promises of new games every E3 that kept people coming. But yeah, in the beginning, it might have not been a lot of games, but that price, $100. And listen, I say it again, both platforms were put side by side. They came out the same month. And one was $100 cheaper than the other. That wasn't Sony's fault. That wasn't PlayStation's fault. That wasn't the PlayStation fans or PlayStation gamers' fault. Microsoft was cocky enough to think that that was going to sell. And they ate dirt for it. I can't feel sympathy for all these other reasons you named that other people name also. I also have people to this very day saying Don Matrick is the reason why Xbox One failed. Well, what about the PS3? The PS3 ate dirt but made a comeback and was able to outsell the competitor that had launched at a cheaper price point a whole year ahead of them. Anything's possible if you don't give up. So I'm not going to sit up here and agree with you or anybody else saying Don Matrick, their advertisement for TV, DRM, not being able to share games, these are all reasons why people didn't want to buy it years later. No, people didn't want to buy it years later because they didn't work hard. They gave up. As soon as they introduced, we're going to allow games to be available on PC, after all the other reasons I just named and the fact that gamers just were not enthusiastic to buy the already growing library of exclusive games on Xbox, it kind of pretty much made it agreeable around the community that this was not the platform that anybody should support. That's why the PlayStation PS4 ended up selling 117 million consoles, and Xbox ended up with 60 million, I believe, at the end of the life cycle. So, hey man, this time it's closer. You have a shortage of consoles for the PS5, but for some weird reason, it's still outselling the Xbox, which has more than enough consoles on the store shelves. People send me pictures all the time of Xbox Series X's and S's just there. No one's buying them. They're just there.
Yeah, because
Both
they're
systems are
available in plenty.
$500, but a pawn shop will charge you $600 for a PS5, and they will charge you $400 for an Xbox Series X. We
I can
can't
simply
see it's
answer
the
that
we
by-
can't say it's the feature or the design. We have to say that there's more. It's all right to say that exclusives bring certain people to your platform or make them stay.
I wasn't saying that exclusive were, like are the First off, I'm gonna go ahead and put this forward. Like, first off, I'm gonna address this one comment here saying, PC gaming does not push graphics forward for the industry. Here's the thing: the RTX 20 series came out September 20th, 2018, and was the first generation of computer graphics cards to introduce ray tracing. The second being that, again, the PlayStation 5 came out in 2020, 2 years after, the whole ray tracing thing. So how exactly does it not push graphics towards?
Wait up, but
not to mention the original Doom all the way back.
I'm confused. So that doesn't make sense. What you just said.
I kind of expected that answer.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't make sense because PC could always push anything forward because they bring out graphics cards much faster than a console is created. Isn't that right? Like, you could change your whole build of a PC overnight if you so desire. Like, it's really up to you, the consumer. You can have a PC that's specializing in performance or have one that's specializing in resolution. I feel like it's a very unfair comparison.
Also, someone's saying it's very risky and expensive developing big budget titles on PC, and it's also risky and expensive developing big budget titles on other platforms. It's not something that's just exclusive to PC.
I don't know, man. PlayStation did it many times, and they've actually been very successful. It's
Do you have any insider information on the inside of PlayStation?
Every single game that's available on PC from PlayStation was a big budget title, and they were all successful enough to be able to get a created port for PC. Every last one was a AAA title. You know you're not getting any small titles, right? Okay. I have to agree with the guy in the chat.
Because all the small titles that come out, we usually end up getting on PC anyways, whether that be through Steam or Epic. Not to mention, again, we have an abundance of games on PC anyways. That's also the case for a lot of platforms, unless
Let me be real specific, since you want to be a smartass. Smaller PlayStation exclusive titles
You mean like kind of Bridge of Spirits?
I said PlayStation exclusive titles.
Then name said smaller titles. Just
let me ask you a question. I just want to be sure about this. So you don't know?
No, because
you have a PlayStation, but you don't know smaller PlayStation exclusive titles.
No, because I don't really care that much about.
No. It has nothing like. Bro, you came here to debate about gaming history. Everybody that wants to debate about drama, they don't come here to debate.
You came to debate about the future of gaming.
Yes.
Gaming history.
And you knowing your history matters to the future of gaming. Why? Because people that play or support PC are now responsible with the future of PlayStation. PlayStation is sharing their games with you guys, and they're expecting you to buy it so that they can have enough money to build the rest of the games for the future. So it's very important that you know your history. So I ask you one more time, do you know of any other small PlayStation exclusive games?
No, because again, I told you I.
You
Invested
can't
in
keep
other
saying you don't
platforms.
care because you don't know.
I
That's
just
not acceptable.
it's a combination of both of those that I don't know and don't care.
Okay, we're gonna go
Simple.
with you don't know.
Okay, well, whatever floats your boat.
You don't know because if you did, I'm pretty sure you would tell me. You've told me everything else that you do know.
Yeah.
This is
Yes,
the one
still,
time that
because
you won't race to tell me what you don't know. So, I'm going
again,
to take this screen off.
Because again,
Here we
slow and
go.
steady wins the race.
Fat Princess Adventure is a top-down action RPG, 4-player online co-op.
Oh yeah, that one. I remember that one because it was shown in PlayStation All Stars. Sorry, most of the time, like with the
Fat
smaller ones, you
Princess
have to describe.
Adventures, not Fat Princess. Fat Princess Adventures, the PS4 action RPG top-down, similar to Diablo. It was a game. Came out on a PS4, exclusive. 60 frames per second as well. I have everything on screen if you don't know.
Okay,
Let's
like, are you
continue.
showing? Are you showing it on like your?
I'm
Okay,
showing it on
I
my
see it
YouTube
now.
screen.
Yeah, I
Okay.
see it. Right, I was about to say maybe
Gravity
streaming's a
Rush
little
1
delayed for
and
me.
2, Knack 1 and 2, Infamous First Light and Second Son.
I was about to say Knack fucks. When are we getting Knack 3? Like,
Okay.
genuinely asking.
The Order 1886, the Wipeout series, Shadow of Colossus. For some reason, I don't know why that hasn't went to PC. Until Dawn,
I was gonna say, okay, those ones that you're listening out, like,
Medieval,
yeah, those ones, aside from Fat Princess Adventures, like the rest
Alien
of them,
Nation,
those I already know.
Matterfall. What about Matterfall? You don't know about that? That's a small one.
No, not okay. That one, because you just pointed that out. But aside from that and the Fat Princess one, like all the other ones, yeah, I knew about. Just like I couldn't remember that at the top of my head. But all it takes was like looking at the pictures or like seeing it on screen to remember that. Yeah, I know those ones. Sorry. Again, I'm just saying for a long time, like again, at one point I did end up getting myself a Series X a while back in 2020. Well, no, wait, not 2020, 2021. And the thing is that for a while I wasn't on PlayStation for a while because I was just waiting for like the ability to get a PS5 as well. And the thing is that for a while, a lot of knowledge about PlayStation I kind of just like passed on because again, that wasn't the platform I was playing on at the time.
So, some people that argue with me or some people that don't like me, they believe that I only play big games from Sony. They don't understand that I support. Well, I'm just saying the general consensus around the internet is that JTech only plays big AAA exclusives, and that he feels some type of way when they go to PC. Obviously, I play more multiplats and indies than exclusives. I own more too. But long story short, there are so many different sectors to PlayStation. It's not just fuck. I almost forgot about that game. Hold on. Matterfall and Concrete Genie are also small titles.
Oh, I was gonna say I have that one. I got that one through PlayStation Plus. I was meaning to play the VR mode at some point.
So there you go. PlayStation has put the big blockbusters that have sold a lot of money that were very risky because a lot of them started out as, new IPs. So the guy in the chat that said that, I gotta agree with him. Because all the big budget games that were risky, they are now on PC to make even more money. Or that's what people think. Matterfall. Where is Matterfall at?
Oh, okay.
So,
you might.
He gets a point.
I was gonna say you haven't said it all. I was gonna say you haven't said it all. I was gonna say I was checking to see if you had it said it all or not. I'm just saying, like I at least have a good enough. Like it's been actually close to. It's been over half a year actually since I've had the PS5. Actually, truth be told. I'm sorry if I seem a little quiet. I'm just looking at the library right now.
No, it's cool. Oh, there you go. I was looking for Matterfall. I don't know why I didn't see it over there. Okay, Matterfall will be posted in first party games, and then what? Concrete Genie. I know I have Concrete Genie, but I'm not sure if it's on here.
I was gonna say, do you have it set to where it's alphabetical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. ABC. Contrast, Costume Quest. No, I don't seem to have Concrete Genie. I do remember me platinum the game, but maybe I don't have it on my hard drive anymore. I normally keep all my games since I have an 8 terabyte external hard drive.
Oh, nice.
There we go. Yeah, they say it's in my library. I don't know where the fuck it's at. Yeah, that's just not in my library. I don't know what they talking about. It is what it is. But long story short, yeah, they're putting the big blockbusters over because they've been verified to be successful. So they expect that because they were successful on PlayStation, they would be successful on PC, and they make a lot of money. So I guess the consensus is we will make enough money on PC to take more risks with other risky games.
I was going to say, like, speaking of history, I was going to say, like, I'm not trying to, like, say, like, oh, you felt some other type of way about the games coming to PC, because, like, the way you said that, it sounded more like you got aroused from seeing them coming to PC, but I'm just saying, like, I still remember that one time where you reacted to the Uncharted release and all that. I'm just saying, like,
me and True Woody. Actually, a lot of people
yeah.
thought that was me yelling. That was actually True Woody.
I could tell that it was I could tell it was True Woody, like, yelling.
Yeah. So I think his reaction and my reaction was the same at that show, and obviously at the last State of Play. Their focus for third party or indie titles and a showcase that was supposed to be for the platform was a little irritating. And I feel like at that show, if we look back at it multiple times, it was due to them really not having any exclusive titles for the majority of the show. And then they got to Uncharted, which was a game we had already played. Why do we want to see it? I don't understand why any PlayStation fan would find joy in PlayStation talking about an old game when they could be spending time talking about new games. So everybody's a little annoyed, especially since they're going to continue to do that going forward.
It's simple because new games take time to be made, and not to mention select new games may not be ready for presentation yet. For example, at QuakeCon 2021 this year, id Software stated that they are working on their next game currently, but it wasn't ready for presentation yet.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm just giving examples of, like, or at least like giving an example or two that I know of that, you know.
No, I get you, man. I get you. I get where you're coming from, and you're right. However, if you just put on our shoes for a second, we were there when the games were teased. We were there when the games were teasers. We were there when they showed off the first gameplay at E3. We were there participating in the beta, like Uncharted 4, with the multiplayer beta. And we were there at launch when they came out. And we beat the game. And some of us beat the game multiple times. So, again, when you've already beaten the game multiple times, you've already supported the multiplayer, you were a part of the multiplayer beta, you were there with the excitement of the teaser, seeing Drake lift his head out of the water. Like, we've been there for a long time. For over 5 years. So we're ready for something new. We don't need to be playing catch up. We're the primary, supporters of PlayStation. We're a little stuck up just like you guys in that regard. You guys are, when it comes to PC, you guys love your specs. You love your high frames and high resolutions, mods, and all the other stuff that comes with PC gaming. And we, over here, if we're going to go support this platform, this hardware, we want to see the developers take full advantage of this hardware using a game that is made only for this hardware. Because we know that that's the only way we can see greatness. When you have to split your time and attention on this platform and that platform, the game is not that good. We have 2 superhero games that have 1440p, ray tracing, and 60 frames per second. Spider-Man Remaster and Spider-Man Miles Morales that play perfectly on PS5, right? But what is Rocksteady Montreal, whatever? They are doing the new Gotham Knights game, and they're making excuses as to why they can't get an open world superhero game at 60 frames per second, even though Insomniac not only did a 60 frames per second superhero game, they did 2. And not only that, they ran in 1440p while at 60 frames. And not only that, they updated both of the games after they came out to have ray tracing included into the 1440p 60 frames per second mode. We had 4 different modes. I think Saints Row was not a superhero game, but it was an open world game. It was a cross-generation title, and they even had a 60 frames per second option as well as 5 options for resolution. So look, when you make an exclusive, Saints Row probably shouldn't have been used, but when you make an exclusive, we expect better, right? When you're making a multi-platform, with my personal experience from the PS3 all the way to now, I don't expect much. But I'm always happy when they show me up, you know. I'm always happy when I support an indie title and it's 60 frames. I'm always happy when I go out on a limb and support a multi-platform AAA title like Saints Row, and God, having 6 different performance options blew my fucking mind, you know.
I was gonna say, if you're talking about the modern Saints Row, those options are also on the Xbox version and PC version.
Oh, it doesn't. I'm not saying that. The fact of the matter is, everybody should have those types of options. This has nothing to do with exclusivity. This has everything to do with other developers being on the same level. No. I just want to correct you. I want every other developer to be on the level of Insomniac. No more excuses. I'm not pointing at this box over here. This box did nothing wrong.
Well, of course, it's not a sentient thing. It's an inanimate object.
No, I'm just saying. I heard people on the PC side, as early as this morning, saying that the PS5 was a weak piece of shit. And that's why the Gotham Knights is stuck at 30 frames per second. But Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart would argue with that. Or Returnal would argue with that. Or Demon Souls Remastered would argue with that. Or the 60 frames per second mode on the PS4 Pro would argue with that. There have been so many 60 frames per second games I've played in my lifetime, going all the way back to the PS3. It's not even funny. I don't blame the hardware. I blame the developer and their laziness.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you on that, like saying about like the whole developers thing and all that, like saying how like all those other games can reach 60 FPS, because like that's not something that can really be argued. The thing is that like what you said earlier is that like people saying that the PS5 is bad, which is why Gotham Knights only runs 30. Is that what you said?
I said PC guys have been saying that early this morning.
Okay, and again, how exactly do you know that they're PC guys?
Because they said they said it in a comment, bro.
Okay, then can you DM me the link to said comment real quick? Cause show an image of it, because the thing at the bottom right corner of like the tweet shows where they tweeted it from as well.
Oh,
for all you know, it may have been could have been like, because not all because all these trolls and all that, they aren't exclusive to PC. They're on every platform.
Okay, so when someone says I can play this at a higher frame rate on my PC, that's why your platform is dog shit. Like, so that means that person that's bragging about a PC doesn't actually have a PC. They're just lying to be a part of the community. I'm confused.
Nah, I'm just saying that they do that just to mess with you.
Yeah.
I'm saying this as someone who actually is on a PC and actually uses those.
See, that's the thing. I feel like people like yourself should be a goodwill ambassador to the rest of the PC community that doesn't have respect. Like, I could argue with a lot of them. The arguments would be very simple and quick. But because so many of them are on joke time, they don't understand that. So when they say that, hey, the PS5 is a weak platform, this is why Gotham Knights isn't 60 frames per second, I say, hey, well, we have 2 other superhero games that are open world in nature. They have RPG elements in nature. They have 60 frames per second mode with a 1440p and ray tracing. So what you just said is false.
So do we.
Do you see what I'm
getting the exact same games?
No, but do you understand when a PC fan says you can't do this on your platform when other games have proved that point?
I'm saying, I'm pretty sure the reason why is because of your infamy when it comes to like that to the commentary community, and that's why they literally make those comments. Is mainly just to get a rise out of you or get a reaction out of you. And
So,
see, going by what you said.
So hold on.
What you said, it seems like you fell right into the trap.
So this is what I didn't tell you. None of these comments were directed towards me. I've had no conversations with PC fans when it came to Gotham Knights over the last 9 or 8 hours. None. These are comments I've saw directed to other PlayStation fans or other console fans in general. Not me. You think I talk to PC fans anymore? No, all of them are blocked. Don't give a fuck about that shit. I care about gaming and my family. That's it. You can't get a rise out of me if I don't give a fuck that you exist.
I mean, you got pretty loud with me earlier.
Loud about what?
I remember it was the thing about like the PS4 and the Xbox, and then like talking about the whole like features and all that happened that we were talking about.
Yeah, because most people that I talk to on this platform with this series, the Discord debates, they always, and that's why when you say what you say, it gets a little repetitive. It gets a little boring to me because I've heard it so many times. It's the features to sell the platform. It's not the exclusives.
We never say that's just the features that sell. It's the features, like the exclusives are along with it. I'm just saying, you know.
I mean, the chat can tell you. I have a playlist too, if you wanted to do any research on the debates.
I'm good. I'm gonna save mine.
I'm just saying, like, you're not saying anything I haven't heard. You're not giving me any points or knowledge that I haven't heard. That's why these are so boring. But I want to do them because I'm hoping that one time somebody is going to be completely different than the other person. I do have a question, like your knowledge. Did you just come across this yourself, or have you watched another YouTuber that likes PC that have informed you? You said that you heard about me from other people that talk about me or something. Like, I wanted to know, do you guys get your knowledge at one spot? Like, is it one nexus where you guys all meet and this is how you guys...
No, despite what you may think, it isn't some kind of hive mind where we all bow before the queen like, yes, my queen, we bow before you.
I wouldn't know because you guys all say the same thing, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I would say the same exact thing about most, like, console fanboys. I'm not calling you a console fanboy. I'm just saying, like, from most people that I've had these types of, like, talks with. Like, for example, if I may bring one big example, if I may. This has nothing to do with a PlayStation guy, by the way. So, there was this one Nintendo fanboy by the name of Harmon Smith, who was basically a major Nintendo fanboy. And, like, the point where, like, he was the type of person that believed that if you played anything other than Nintendo, that you didn't like video games. The dude even banned me at one point because I said I didn't really care that much for Splatoon 3 or Breath of the Wild 2. The dude got that mad, and I actually saved a clip of it. That stuff was hilarious.
There we go. Okay, continue.
But yeah, the point is that most of them always say, like, something about, like, you know, they either point out they either say, like, oh, exclusives and all that, or, like, stuff like that, or they say, you know, like, oh, they call all, like, PC players, like, trolls or something like that. Even the ones who don't really interact with them. For example, like, this guy, I'm just saying, like, got offended by, like, other people simply for having, like, different opinions. Like, the dude thinks Undertale is the worst thing to happen in all of gaming. Just as an example. I'm just pointing one of his many, many hate boners that he has.
Okay.
But the point is that, like, most of the arguments I hear from most, like, fanboys and all that also end up all the same. So I guess the whole thing is, like, one big repetitive cycle, I guess.
So you guys heard what I say? Do other people sound like me?
I've heard this kind of point, like, maybe from only a few people, but even then, most of those were like the one example.
So the points I've brought up, you've heard other people make these points. Right?
Well, not the exact same points, but like a variation of them, essentially, or like essentially like from different perspectives. Also, what's with the
it's like I'm the only me out there.
I wasn't saying that there were multiple of you out there. If there was, I'd be panicking right now.
You saying that we all sound the same, but saying that they haven't said the same shit that I've said proves you're wrong.
They've said different variations of
So,
what you said.
Let me get
Yeah,
down to
exactly,
it.
same.
I do have a gripe with the PC community. It is pertaining to
Then name it.
exclusives.
Then name
Uh,
it. I'm what people call a venting machine.
well,
Not a vending machine, but
I don't want to vent to
vent to
you.
a rant.
I want a little bit of an explanation. I know that
Okay.
you play multiple consoles, so you're probably not the best person to talk to. And there are other PC people that I've talked to that also claim to have multiple platforms, so it's a little
Ouch,
weird.
that hurts. I can take pictures of my platforms and like send them to you.
I
Like
don't need
I
that.
don't mind.
I'm cool. I believe you. So,
Okay.
exclusives going from PlayStation to PC, does it still make the platform valuable?
Wait, like, are you talking about like PlayStation or PC?
I'm
Like,
talking
does it
about the
make
PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 having games tailor made for the platform in order to sell and promote it worldwide. Does this act of Jim Ryan putting games on PC within a year devalue the PlayStation 5 console?
no?
Why not?
Simply because again, it isn't a case of like the way that you make it sound or the way you say it. You
I'm
make it
just
sound as if,
asking a
like,
question.
you mean asking a question? Because like asking a question sounds kind of threatening.
I'm
Like
asking a question.
okay, okay. I'm sorry. I was about to go on a bit of saying like I don't know where I was at, if I'm in the PS log or in the set of Halloween Kills. But anyways, as I was going to say, the thing is that the point is that the way you like the way you say it, or like the way you pointed it out, it makes it sound like you're saying like all sudden sales of like the games on PS5 and all that, or it will immediately go to PC, or making it sound like games going to PC will cause the PlayStation 5 community to collapse overnight.
I know
The
that's
thing is
not
that
gonna happen because it hasn't happened. What I'm saying is that I call them stragglers. You guys will call them whoever you want to. But a straggler to me is someone that is on another platform that sees what they want over here, maybe PC. They don't want to wait to for the game to come to their platform. It used to be they don't want to dream and hope that PlayStation does the right thing. At this point in time, PlayStation is doing the right thing in their opinion and putting games on PC after they're on PlayStation. So now they're getting what they want, but there's really no reason for them, someone that felt that they needed to get a PlayStation 4 in the past to play, let's say, Bloodborne or God of War, they don't need to buy a PS4 or a PS5. So they stay put. So they're not inserted into the ecosystem. And let me explain this. Let me explain this so you can understand. So they don't buy the $400 or $500 PS5 units, right? They don't spend maybe $60 to $120 for PlayStation Plus. They're not buying games from the PlayStation Store, which directly puts money into PlayStation's pocket. They're not buying any expansions or DLCs or microtransactions from the PlayStation Store that also helps fund PlayStation in many different ways. By them not being in the ecosystem, they don't see other exclusives that they might want to try and have no reason not to try, so they actually do go out and buy it, which also puts money in PlayStation's pocket. When you put a game on PC and someone decides to just stay there and buy that game, or just say it here, experience the game without buying it, it doesn't really help like someone that is already in the ecosystem. So when you give that one individual a reason not to buy the PlayStation 5, you're really hurting your chances of making more money from that individual, because you're hoping on a prayer that that individual buys the game day one for $50 or $60 instead of waiting for a Steam sale, pirating the game, or just waiting or never buying the game at all. Versus, when that person buys a $500 console, even if they're going to buy the multi-platform games, you're getting some of that money. Because they brought the $500 console, you're getting that money. They got to play some of those games online, you're getting that money. Maybe they buy an exclusive, you're getting that money. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Slightly, yeah.
Except for two things. One, like, why did you say like find a way to get it and then next time say pirate? Because I could already tell you meant both things. So
some
just say
people
pirate. It's
that have supported PC have had arguments or debates with me, and they said that They pirate the game so that they can test out the game, and if the game is good, they buy it.
I say that buying a game pre-owned would have more damage to it than pirating, though, because the thing is that even with pirating, there's still a chance that they can go and get the game. That isn't a guarantee, but there's still a chance out there. And there's still a chance for them to double dip and actually like get the game after seeing that they like it. To support the developers and such. But the thing is that when you buy a pre-owned game, like let's say, for example, let's say if I buy like God of War on like pre-owned on PS4, PlayStation isn't going to get that money. It's going to go to either to the shop I got it from or from Joe Schmo if I bought it off a website. The thing is that, not to mention another thing is that, like, you're saying that the sales are gonna, like, you're saying, like, as if, like, someone is just gonna wait for the PC version, that automatically means that, that they're just going to have the PC version, or they're just going to ignore it. When the whole point of the whole, like, selling stuff on PC is to attract that second market, because they know that not all the people on PC are going to, like, go immediately to PlayStation, so, might as well, try to grab some money from the PC market. But at the same time, there isn't exactly guaranteed that they will stick to PC. Because, for example, I'm someone who actually double dipped and got Days Gone on I got Days Gone on PS Plus, but I also bought it on PC. God of War, bought it on PS4, and eventually also got it on PC when it launched. And I'm currently like planning on doing that for Horizon Zero Dawn at some point as well. Even though I got that one for free on PS5 through the play at home thing, or whatever it was called. That one time where they had a bunch of PS4 games offered for free during the quarantine and all that.
So you're not refuting anything I've said.
Except I did, because you made it out as
okay.
If
So
like, the PC,
let's say you brought 3 games from PlayStation on PC. Are you buying them from Steam?
Yes.
Okay, well, Steam gets 30% of every sale. That right there already proves what I was saying is correct. Because, see, if those 3 games were sold to you day one on the PlayStation not only able to sell you the game for full price of its full value, but they're getting all of that sale. Especially if you're buying it from their storefront. See, you buying it from Steam's storefront, and I'm pretty sure you should have known this, PlayStation's not getting all of that sale. And it's confirmed.
They're not getting all of the money, but they're still getting 70%, which is more than half, which is more than like 2/3 of the whole thing.
That's cool, but you're proving my point. That going outside of their dedicated ecosystem doesn't make them more money, it makes them less money. Okay, example. Real easy.
I get what you're talking about.
Who's making PlayStation more money?
I get what you're talking about.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Are you making PlayStation more money with your buying habits, or am I making PlayStation more money with my buying habits?
I'm giving them more because I buy it on both platforms, both on PlayStation and on PC.
Yeah,
so
but I own more games, so I've given them more. And I've purchased more game. Whoa, it is a flex for a gamer. We're talking about the ecosystem and where they make their money. So they make more money off of a dedicated PlayStation gamer than someone that is going to wait to see if they bring that game to their platform. Because, see, you're not understanding one thing. They have to wait for you to wait to buy the game. You could have been there day one, but you decided to wait. So they have not made any money off of you to bring us God of War Ragnarok, to bring us other titles. These games were far into development based off of the original release before they started putting games on PC. They were able to make these sequels because of what they did on the PS4, because gamers were buying the games. I could agree if you had some valid points, but you're not bringing any valid points. PlayStation does not make more money off of PC than their dedicated fans or their dedicated platform. That's why they have the box.
That wasn't my point. That my point wasn't them like getting more money overall. Like the point is that I was saying is that you're making it sound like as if them not getting like them. You made that as if like saying that Valve getting 30% meant that PlayStation was getting none of the expenses, even though they're still making a majority profit from the PC versions of the games. You could say the same thing for Epic Game Store as well.
the point is that the way that you're saying it, it sounds more like you're just like it sounds more like you're complaining about them not getting all the money or saying getting all the W's. I guess you could say, because like I don't follow modern lingo.
Well, this is what the PC and recently Herman Holtz said in his interview. So why wouldn't I say this? This is what the PC community have said. They said, and I quote, I saw this multiple times on Twitter leading up to PlayStation actually listening and putting games on PC. Well, if you put this game on PC, I can support this developer. It's anti-consumer that you've locked this game behind your platform. These are quotes from the PC community. Man, if you put this game over on PC, you'll make a lot of money. This is what I'm hearing from the PC.
Which it did.
Compare it to the original launch? No.
Yes.
Really? You're selling the game at a cheaper price? No collector's edition? No limited edition console sold with it? No limited edition console sold with the game launch? No launch hype? We're talking about the game that sold originally on PS4 that made the sequel appear. They had to wait for the revenue on PC for them to decide to put the game on PC, and then it's not even guaranteed that when you put the game on PC, it's going to make enough revenue to make the following game. I can say that because we have their sales reports from May, and it confirms to us that it took 2 years for Horizon Zero Dawn to sell 2 million copies. It sold 2 million copies in 2 weeks on the PS4. So again, I have to go against what you're saying. They gave us those numbers, not JayTech, Sony, their financials.
I wasn't saying that you weren't making up the.
Well, I have to say it that way because you said that they make more money on PC. That's a lie.
I kind of mixed things up a minute. I kind of mixed up my words, so massive apologies for that. Like I thought you were talking about like if they make a profit on PC, and I was like I was. Sorry, I got a little confused for a moment.
Well, I mean, Dante, that's obvious. They don't make a lot of money on PC, but that's what I'm saying. What Retro is saying is true. It's not guaranteed that every game on PC is going to be adopted by every PC gamer. There are tons of games on PC at a cheaper price and maybe a better quality depending on how you look at it. It might be a game that is for you. You might like roguelikes. You might like Souls-likes. You might like shooters. You might like MMOs. So the AAA...
Vegan saying that most PC people don't pay for shit. Okay, question. I'm just asking this for the points. Damn, that was some good laughing. Maybe you should try doing a
Oh, God. I mean, outside of the initial hardware that they invest a lot of money into, I do agree because you have the option of getting multiple emulators. You have the option of torrenting a game or pirating a game. You don't. Once you build that amazing hardware, which is a PC, after you get a beautiful monitor, curved or normal monitor, or keyboard and mouse, maybe a gaming chair and a good desk, which is what I'm going to be getting next year.
I'm just going to say this
gaming
chairs are a scam.
I know.
I recommend just getting like a comfy
office chair. Yeah, I know. I'm working on it. Trust me, I know. Spent a lot of time sitting in this uncomfortable fucking chair. It looks cool, but it's no. That or a recliner. But yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, you have the freedom once you build an amazing PC rig that you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, I come from a family of PC gamers. My nephew is a PC gamer. My other nephew is he has $1,000 ready to have his friend build a PC. My older brother that got me into gaming was a PC gamer. Shit, I was a PC gamer for a number of years, playing nothing but RuneScape. So I know how it is once you have powerful hardware, and I know how it is that you don't have to actually buy a lot of games on PC. If you find your passion game, you can play that shit for years without touching anything else. And just saying that, PlayStation won't make money off of individuals like that. Let's say Overwatch fans, right? If somebody's a dedicated...
I was gonna say you could say for the whole passion game thing, you could say the same exact thing for things on every platform.
I know,
Like
but
there might,
PlayStation is putting games on PC hoping to capture more people than they actually are going to capture. Like I said,
and how would
they
you know
can't
that
compete
exactly?
with a $20 indie game that just hit the market. They can't compete. What's that game called? Vermintide?
Vermintide.
Vermintide?
Is
Yeah. They couldn't compete with that. I think they had a game that launched that year. Might have been Days Gone.
well, to be fair, at that time, I'm pretty sure at that time we were getting like an abundance of zombie-related stuff. So like that's not to mention, at least going by like the footage originally, at least like aside from like the Muso level number of zombies that you know what I mean when I say Muso, right?
Cool.
Muso is basically like a genre or like a type of character action game that's developed by Koei Tecmo, namely the Dynasty Warriors series that has you going up against like hundreds and hundreds of enemies all at once, and you get and essentially like one big slaughter fest. Hell, a Muso game was actually the first game I got on PS4, specifically being Berserk and the Band of the Hawk, and I
That's
actually
a
still
good
have
game.
I still have that copy to this day. Actually, it's like one of my prized
The
possessions.
thing with Days Gone is, you know,
Point is-
the type of videos I used to make, I never really saw a lot of PC gamers ask for Days Gone. Days Gone was very weird, but it made sense. It was running on the Unreal Engine, it was easy to port, and it didn't get that much support on PlayStation, so it makes sense that they would have put that over there. Horizon Zero Dawn was a little weird. It had already hit its stride, but I guess they wanted to get more money. The sequel was at that time was about to be confirmed or already confirmed.
I was gonna say I was just saying the goal at the end of the day, like you pretty much made the point I was trying to make this whole time is that the whole point of them porting is to make more money because at the end of the day they are a company and a corporation, and the main goal of a company or a corporation is to make money.
But the money they're making it can't be used for anything.
Except it can towards whether that be towards like maintaining themselves or like funding new projects or building more PS5s and all that. Because again, last I recall, they sell PS5s at a loss, so like getting that money back from they make most of their money from software sales. So again,
Okay, so I agree with you on making the money back for hardware, but then I have to disagree because they've been selling their console at a profit for since last year.
I was mainly referring to like at the beginning of the PS generation.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the PlayStation generation, they didn't put anything on PC. They put something on PC after they had already made a profit on their hardware.
Simple. Why not get extra profit? Considering again, they gain.
I mean,
again, how old was Horizon Zero? How old was Horizon Zero Dawn? When did Horizon Zero Dawn come out?
2017.
2017. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm just checking the release of it because I know. And then it came out 3 years later on Steam. The thing is that by that time, it made at least in terms of major numbers, it made them, as far as we're concerned, outside of it eventually being on sale or people who are getting into it to get before checking out Horizon Forbidden West and all that. Outside of those two events, at that point, it made most of the money it could really go at a maximum profit for at the time, or it reached its stride at that point. So it kind of makes sense 3 years later to release it on Steam to a platform, that people are more than likely going to check it out on. As they also reported at one point that pretty much sold it made 150% of its profit on Steam. So it would make sense for them to continue releasing more of their games on PC, as that even with the whole 30% take out from Valve and all that, which again, that's the same thing for every other company.
So you said it made 150 profit, but the number that we got, yeah, but that when they finally gave us the number, I know the numbers you guys go off of, but that's why I don't ever use your numbers. I wait for the company to give out their financial sales. It's a little bit more accurate. So I believe they were able to make about $30 million off of Horizon on PC, and then when it came to Days Gone, it sold less than a million copies. I think it was at 800,000 copies this May. God of War, after 4 months on PC, it was sitting at 900,000 copies, over 900,000 copies. Horizon was over 2 million. It was over 2 million copies in 2 years. So, yeah, long story short, they haven't really been making a lot of money. When you say the profit is 150, it doesn't mean it's a lot. And it always sounds like a lot to somebody that doesn't know what's going on, but they're not making enough money to. The whole thing was, people told me on PlayStation side and PC side, yes, I go up against PlayStation fans as much as I go up against PC fans these days. They told me that by putting games on PC, we're going to be able to get enough money to fund new IPs. New IPs are very expensive. They're very risky. And that's whether we're talking about unfinished games as a service titles that are multiplayer in nature with microtransactions, or we're talking about new AAA blockbuster IPs like a Horizon Zero Dawn, which made all of its money back on PlayStation 4 and had enough money to make a VR game and had enough money to make a sequel and DLC. So they did a very good job for themselves with Horizon Zero Dawn, which was a new IP from a studio that some people lost hope in. So again, I'm happy that they did what they did with PlayStation. I'm proud of the PlayStation gaming community for getting us these amazing sequels of these great games. I understand that PC fans are only thinking Sony, but if PlayStation gamers didn't support these games, I don't know if they would have risked it all by giving away their incentive to buy their hardware. They can't brag about 60 frames per second. That cannot be advertised. They cannot brag or advertise ray tracing. They cannot brag or advertise 4K while they're still putting games on PC, knowing that a future advertisement will be bragging about higher frames, higher resolution, and a better locked ray tracing mode. So, do you understand how they are devaluing their platform with their own marketing? I've noticed that in the new marketing for God of War. They didn't really tout 4K that much. They didn't tout 60 frames that much. They didn't tout ray tracing at all. But those things will be touted on PC. So
simple. The reason why they don't tout it on the PS5 is because that's not exactly what gets the common audience out there. Like, like average Joe Schmo out there who will just just be like, "Oh, cool, new PlayStation, I want to buy." Like, because they already touted the whole 4K ray tracing, the whole 120 FPS, 8K even. They do that on the box itself and in the initial reveals for the PlayStation 5 as well. And they've also did the same thing for the PlayStation VR 2, which, even though I already own an Oculus Rift, I am really looking forward to that because, again, that's actually something I'm looking forward to. Again,
so you don't think that it's a little bit of a fucked up thing that they are messing around with PC promoting that the game that they said years ago was only on one platform, or this was the game that was going to push this hardware, is now on another platform with higher resolution, higher frame rate? I mean, if it was me, and it is me, on some cases, on certain games in the future, I will wait. I won't have a sense of urgency. There won't be a sense of excitement knowing that, hey, this game's going to come to another platform with better resolution and better frame rate. Shit, in the next 3-4 years, I might be a PC gamer myself full time. So, again, I have a friend. I think I'm going to set up like a tag team debate or a debate, but it won't be me. It'll be Cloud. Yeah, I think that I should have some PC gamers talk to Cloud. Cloud is a friend of mine, KLOUD, not C. He's moved over to PC gaming full time. He's a PlayStation gamer, and he had a medical scare, and
are you talking about that PlayStation gamer? Like that's his actual name and all that?
His name is Cloud. Yes, KLOUD.
I thought you were talking about another person, because there's another person I know called that PlayStation gamer specifically.
No.
Okay.
So long story short, he had a medical scare.
Hold up, hold
through
up.
his
Verge Brazil says Jay wins every debate because he comes with facts and not a fanboy. I'm wearing for reference. I'm wearing a headset, and I'm just wearing like a regular jacket and sweatpants. Like I don't wear like merch stuff. So sorry to disappoint you guys if you were hoping for
okay. Let me get back to it. Cloud
Okay.
moved over to PC. He was a hardcore PlayStation guy, but after PlayStation started putting games on PC, he saw no reason to continue to cap. So he still plays games on PlayStation. He's not going to wait to play these games on PC. So he has his PlayStation 5 for day one releases, but he is double dipping and buying these games on PC. He already confirmed to me once they go day and date, he's gone to PC full time. A lot of people are already transitioning to PC. I can tell you a handful of gamers on PlayStation that have PC or dabble in it, myself included. I've been on PC since I fucking started doing YouTube. Why? Because I need a computer to produce all of this stuff that I produce.
Okay.
I've always had it.
Isn't what you have a laptop though? Like a game?
Yeah, and I still play games on it. I played Sims 4 on my last laptop. Day one, pre-ordered 2 copies of it. I have mods on that one. I have the video up on YouTube with thousands of views.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I would again. I'm only saying this as someone who had to deal with this once. Like, I used to have a laptop, but over time, like, I decided eventually like switch to like a proper gaming tower because, like, at least in the long run, because again, I do it with longevity in mind.
Question:
like,
how much did that gaming tower you're talking about cost you?
I don't know. How much did yours cost?
I don't have a gaming tower yet.
I meant like your gaming laptop. I mean,
about $800-900.
Yeah, I'm working on 600, and I still work mine just fine.
So your gaming tower costs $600.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And
again,
what's the graphics card?
NVIDIA GTX 1650 Super, alongside having a AMD Ryzen 5, I believe 3500 processor chip, alongside having 8 gigs of internal RAM, upgradable to 16 gigs, and also a 256 gigabyte internal SSD.
So when did you build this PC?
I got it pre-built with plans to upgrade it in the future at some point.
So you said a 16. Did you say
1650 Super? GTX 1650 Super.
1650 Super. GTX 1650 Super.
Are you trying to? I'm assuming that you're.
So how many what type of games you play on that?
I don't exactly have a specific type of like genre I play. I tend to play like a bunch of them.
So what's your benchmarks?
I don't exactly use a specific benchmark, as I only got so that way I could because there were games on PC I couldn't access on like the systems I had at the time. Because like for example, games like Ultra Kill, which isn't a demanding game per se. It's not a demanding game. It's not exactly a great idea to use that as a benchmark if you're looking for that.
I'm trying to get a rough idea.
Stuff like that, VR chat, Blade and Sorcery, stuff like you can't access on consoles.
You gave me your YouTube channel, right? Yeah, you did give me your YouTube. Do you have like any gameplay from any of the games you play, so I can get a rough idea of like?
It's a mix of PS5, PC, and PS4 stuff because those are what I mainly use for recording and streaming.
Cool. So,
for example, most recently, my walkthrough of Aeon Must Die was recorded on PS5, and same thing goes for my playthrough of some of the playthrough of Metal Hellsinger. Like, it's been a while since I actually tried streaming on PC, just because again, I haven't exactly been active enough to really get on there lately. So most of my gameplay is spent on PS5 and Switch.
Aeon Must Die. Aeon Must Die. That's the game that you're the little indie game. Yeah.
That's not the game I'm in.
Oh, you're not in that game.
No, the game you're looking for hasn't been released yet. There's only been an announcement trailer for it, which I actually voiced in.
So, the Metal Hellslinger, that's done on the PS4?
No, PS5.
PS5. Okay, so there's no gameplay that I'm seeing it that's on your PC.
No, I don't really stream that often on PC. As most time when I'm on PC, it's usually for working. Like I do play games on it a good chunk of times, but like for the most part, I mainly use it for like being around friends or playing VR stuff and all that.
Okay.
As I save a lot of my major gaming for when I'm on the consoles.
Okay, so a 1650 Super and a 10. Goodness. It
Yeah, if you're
sounds
looking,
awesome when you like do the GTX thing. It's always sounds awesome when they do that. Let's see.
what game
Damn.
is that? What game is that? That's looking. Are you?
That
Is it showing
was
right now?
I think that damn,
Oh,
I forgot. Was it Mafia?
Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the little like it's blocked by the PSLOG PC debate thing, but it says Mafia Definitive Edition. Yeah,
I am
I don't play those types of games. I've never been to like games like that or GTA or
So
anything
what
like
what
that.
game do you play? Maybe they have a test for it. You said
Um, I would say one good example that I play a lot would probably be Doom Eternal, I guess.
oh, I got that game on PS5. Really good.
I have jokes on you. I have it on every platform: PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, I already said PlayStation, Switch, PC. Hell, I even had it on
Okay.
Stadia
Let me
before
pull
Stadia
this one real
started to
quick.
shut down. Plus
Oh, I
deluxe edition
cannot
on
wait
Hulu.
for this fucking movie.
Which one?
Black
Which
Adam.
movie? Oh, same here. That I'm actually genuinely looking forward to that. I actually might take my girlfriend to see that at some point.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, we actually been talking about it, like having a date set where we both like go biking together and go like see the movie together. So, yeah.
Guys,
And
I know it's a
hey,
late stream, and I know that tomorrow evening I'm going live again, and I've got to finish up the Lord of the Rings, Lord of Power, and some anime. But I'm gonna be sure to have maybe an energy drink, or maybe I'm just gonna have enough energy. Okay, so you have a good, yeah. It seems like you have a good rig.
yeah, I'm not exactly one that's like demanding of stuff and all that. Like, as long as the games run fine, then I'll be good with it. Basically.
Okay, and what's fine to like? Does it have to be a certain resolution or frame rate?
Nope. Like, I basically as long as it maintains like a decent frame rate at the very least. Like, for example, with Doom Eternal, usually like for example, there are animations and stuff that you do in Doom Eternal that are affected by the frame rate that you have. So a lot of times, like I don't care like what resolution it is. Basically, like if it has the high frames, it'll allow me to do like different stuff. Like for example, what the Doom community refers to as the yeet hook, which is basically a skill that you do, which involves you using the meat hook accessory or the meat hook add-on with the super shotgun, using that along with like following its trail to go ahead and like launch you meters ahead or launch you like much farther than what you initially do. Sorry, like I'm just saying
Doom is
stuff.
fucking awesome, bro. God, I
Yeah,
wish more people would have purchased this game, man.
oh, it definitely made like a lot of money though. Like it definitely made a lot, especially for like a game
Look at
series that's
that.
like doesn't sell like as like much, especially since like
I
again this
gotta
is the
get
sequel
back
to
on this
2016.
game. I
So
gotta find the time, man.
I highly recommend it because like again I'm not because again I hope this has come off clear, especially with like one of the prior servers where folks said I was harmless and all. Like, dude, like if again I don't really have anything against you. I literally just came here just because like yeah, figured it'd be fun to do something like this, but at the same time
That's fucking
if
awesome.
you want, again, I'm here. Yeah, if you need like tips on the game or if you're struggling with stuff, like let me know because I have a bunch of like tips now. I've been playing this game for well over 2 years. Not to mention I actually have the platinum on the PS4 version. I'm working on the PS5 version, having nearly all the trophies for the PS5 version except for the battle mode ones and the DLC, which I'm currently playing through.
Well, I'm currently on Asterigos. I'm 80% done, almost platinum the game, and I have a couple of trick trophies to get. So I can get the platinum out the way before Gotham Knights comes out, so I can properly review and hopefully beat the game before God of War comes out. And then I need to get on God of War and deal with that before Final Fantasy 7 what is it? Not Returnal. I'm sleepy as fuck. The new Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core. Reunion, there it is. Then after that, I'm going to make sure I get through that and probably go back to my backlog because Hogwarts Legacy is coming out in February. So one game is going to take me to the next, and it's going to take me to the next, and then my backlog is going to be embarrassing. But I do have enough games to play on any given day that I'm feeling in the mood for it. But God, I do have a lot of games that I gotta finish.
I was gonna say same here because so the thing is that back during the quarantine I ended up getting like the unemployment like assistance and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna say because again I was someone who had a lot of free time at the time. I ended up splurging a bunch of it on like getting games on the PS4 because at the time I had the PS4. Like nowadays I have the PS5, but still for reference. And the thing is that I did buy a bunch of those games, but funny enough, a lot of my time ended up being taken up by Doom Eternal. Just because, like, again, that's a game that I love to bits, and I would definitely say it's likely my all-time favorite game.
So many fucking games, bro. Like, I'm looking at my library. Look at this shit. Yeah, so many games, and then I still got 4 on the way. Goodness.
Let me see how many I have on the Epic and Steam.
I do expect that Monday should be a very interesting day for gaming news. But this is gonna wrap up the debate because it is 11:07, and I need to. Let me see. Let's see what anime I need to catch up on. I need to catch up on anime, and I'm guessing this is the last episode of Lords of Power, so I need to catch up on that 1-hour show. Might make some popcorn for that. I think I'm gonna forego my gaming for tonight. I don't think I can seriously play any games tonight.
I would highly recommend one game though.
Couple
of Lords of Sabofo. I would recommend a game on you that I believe is on PS4. It's called Lords of Sabofo.
That's a funny name.
Yes, indeed.
What is that about?
It's honestly I can't remember all the details of what it is, but
how do you spell that last part?
Sabofo. Sabofo these nuts, boy.
Yeah, that's weird, bro.
I'm sorry. I had to.
Goodness.
I had to. Okay, it's not the first time
everybody.
I did it.
Well, that's
also, make sure.
End...
Also, before, I'm just gonna say, go check out Immortal and the Death That Follows on Steam or on YouTube. The trailer's available on YouTube. It's not on PS5. It's.
So let's see. What?
Lords of Sabofo isn't a real game, by the way. That was just a D's Nuts joke I was saying.
I understand.
I mean, you were just...
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the debate tonight. I hope all of you guys had fun. This was a very... Joke time. So, we have found out that we have a 3-pattern PC gamer, a 3 PC gamer pattern. There we go. This is now the 3rd PC gamer with a low spec PC rig that I believe is touting PC. Although it's weird that he's touting PC because he is also playing on multiple consoles because his PC is not powerful enough. And I thought that we were all past that, when it comes to people pretending to be on PC. So I'm going to spend 20 minutes talking to you guys about this because it is weird. So let's talk for 20 minutes and then we got to get the fuck up out of here. Shout out to RETRONOMIKON or whatever your name is. You're cool for a little bit. Then that last part, I got no tolerance for that. Sorry, buddy. No tolerance for that. My fucking lights just went off because it's fucking 11 o'clock. Okay. So, let's talk. Thank you, Verge, for being in the chat, and thank you, Tech and God, for being in the chat and mass produce. This was a very interesting exchange, but obviously I talked to another person that was younger than me. He doesn't know. He didn't know everything when it came to gaming history. And it's weird because he requires gaming consoles in order to get his gaming experience the majority of the time. His PC was $600, but we know why it was $600. So it was interesting. True Witty, if you're in the chat, you can turn your mic on. But oh, you're not in the chat. You can come on back to the chat. So I don't know, man. I feel like the PC community is still on joke time. I don't believe the future of PlayStation is in good hands. I don't know how many times I have to talk to PC fans that continue to use the same logic. But one of the points he had made about a game developer get more money based off of somebody pirating a game versus somebody buying the game secondhand. Well, see, I don't buy games secondhand. Not anymore. I brought my games at a cheaper, reduced price on a PlayStation Store. The money's still going to the developer. The money's still going to PlayStation. If you pirate a game or you choose to pirate a game, nobody gets the money. It's not the same.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, piracy is never going to make a developer money. Because if you played the game for free the first time, you should have paid for it. And then if you wanted to pay for it the second time, that would have been your second time paying for it. Instead of pirating, you should have just brought the game. If that's what you wanted to buy, you should have brought it. You know, that's why they have betas. That's why they have demos. The thing about all of this is some people pirate games that have demos and betas. Then you can't say that I pirate the game because it didn't have a demo or a beta when it did have a demo or beta. Or the developer's afraid that you were going to, pirate the game or hack into the game. So, Truly, what's your thoughts on the debate?
It was interesting. I don't think some of his points are a little bit off, but
yeah,
he was more respectful than most others that come on here, though.
Yeah, that's why I would rather talk to the more older ones that have some life experiences, relationships, stuff like that, family, jobs. They might be a little rational, but again, their piracy, like I said, when it comes to TV shows, when it comes to music, when it comes to video game, no one makes money off that.
He seems to be more honest, and honestly, he seemed to have told the truth about his rig, because no one's gonna tell you their rig is weak or anything of the sort.
Oh, exactly. I know, but that's why I talk the way I talk. That's why I'm calm and collected, because if I'm rowdy all the time, they're never going to tell me about their rigs. I have to be calm. I have to be collected. I have to let them get their guard down, because if their guard is up there, you think they're going to tell me that their PC is less powerful than my $400 PS5? Hell no. Hell no. But again, it is very interesting.
But at the end of the day, here's the thing, right? His PC may not have been very powerful, but he still, at the end of the day, he still plays games, as he says. He bought Doom on every freaking platform, even the goddamn platform I would never put my money into, which is freaking
Xbox or Switch.
Stadia.
Oh,
no.
I don't know, man. No. I don't know. I don't think he confirmed that he had Stadia when he says every platform.
He said he bought Doom on Stadia.
What?
Before it shut down. Yeah, he did.
the fuck is wrong with him? Oh goodness. You know, I don't understand that. Okay, wait. So they supported Stadia, but people have a problem with PlayStation Plus? Like the same people that supported Stadia, they had a problem with PlayStation Plus. They think it's a ripoff because you have to pay PlayStation to access their online servers. I mean, it's their fucking servers. They want to make sure they have backing to collect more servers so we won't have any fucking problems. Man, that shit still don't make sense to me. Man, well, whatever, man. Stadia's dead. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, goddamn.
Rest
I
in
wouldn't
peace.
I wouldn't even say rest in peace. I say good riddance.
That's illegal. That's fucking illegal, man.
The point is he bought those games on freaking, I didn't even know it was even on the Switch for one. But he claims that he bought it on Switch and on the Xbox. And on freaking, which means he didn't even rely on Game Pass because it's on Game Pass. Unless he bought it before, you know, Microsoft owned them.
I mean, I will say I respect him for actually buying his games.
Yeah. So man says fuck Stadia.
No, I respect him for buying his games because a lot of the PC dudes, they do not buy their games.
That is true.
So, hey man, it is what it is. I respect that though. But yeah, it's
but him saying that they make a lot of money on PC. That is not true.
I broke the conversation down so far that he had to make it seem like he made a mistake when he said that. There was no mistake because he said it 3 times. He really believes that Sony makes more money on PC. And
they don't.
When I brought out the chart that we use since May, yeah, it's like, bro, them being up 150% compared to the game not selling does not mean that they sold better than the game did in its lifetime on PS4. It just means that the game was dead and now it's alive for a little bit.
He didn't even know that God of War actually sold 20 million. Like it's he didn't know a lot of information, but the fact is he had whatever facts he came with, and there was just a lot of stuff he was unclear about. That's the real issue. But he did come and talk.
Yeah.
He did come to the table and he sat down. So I can at least give him that, because some people you ask to come in and talk, they are very afraid to talk.
Yeah, we wanted to have Kim on last weekend. Then I said, "Hey, bro, are you good for this weekend?" He confirmed. Then I was like, "Okay." I'm still waiting for him to confirm again, because I was live with the rant, and I'm waiting for his confirmation all evening. He doesn't confirm until after I'm off live and I'm up here relaxing playing the game, about to be finished with the day.
Mass produce.
So what did Mass Produce say?
I'd rather rip a dead rat than Stadia. God damn. He'd rather say rest in peace to a dead rat than Stadia. Damn, that's messed up. But that is so true. It is what it is, man. All I can say is that he did come respectful, and I respect that.
Yeah, I respect that. Yeah, I mean, look, man, the PC community, they don't need to know their gaming history in order to... Where's my fucking phone? Fuck. I can't see shit. I can't even see my fucking foot. Oh, there it is. The fuck? My phone was right in front of my fucking face. Oh shit. Yeah. I don't think the PC fans need to know their gaming history in order to support PlayStation, but if you do know your history and you do respect your history, you will support PlayStation in the future. I can't expect every single PC fan to buy games, but if PlayStation gamers, some believe that if PC fans buy games enough, it'll support our future. And PC fans are also saying that same thing. However, they're the people supposed to support our future, but a lot of them don't buy the games because either they're not really interested in those games, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, Sackboy, those type of games. They're not interested in those.
The one thing that confused me though is why is he repping PC if most of the games he buys are on console?
Did I not tell you about that time a person was repping PC and he was playing all his games on cell phone?
Yeah, you did say that.
I did ask him where he got all his knowledge. He did try to sidestep out of that. He never really told me where he got his knowledge of me. Cause see, most people they have a certain impression of me. When they talk to me, it's completely different. So, hey man. Wherever he got his knowledge from me, he's a fan of that channel and he wants to be a part of that PC master race. So, I mean, I guess that's how it is. It's weird to me too, Truity. He's more of a console gamer, but he sympathizes with PC. It's ass backwards to me.
It's almost it pretty much seems like he's as you mentioned as you mentioned to him, it almost seemed like he's pretty much what Cloud will do. Cloud did. Cloud is a console game, but he went to PC, right?
Yeah. But I don't think he really went to PC because he's still saying he's playing or buying games on console. So he's double dipping, or that's what he claims. But then again, later on in the debate, he confirmed that he can't really play any of those games on his PC. Not at the high frame rates or resolution. So, I never heard him brag about that. But when we found out what graphics card he's running on, it's a PS4 at best. Or a PS4 Pro. So
No, the one I think what he meant, what card he was talking about, I would say it's more of a PS4 Pro. But,
yeah, it's a PS4 Pro.
So you can get 60 frames out of it. So I guess that's pretty much all he needs. I guess.
Again, when the PC fans be coming after us, they make it seem like they have these mythical level PC rigs that exceed the level of comprehension of our consoles, and it's just not that level. I mean, we're at even footing at this point. We can see you, and they can see us. Like, we're not that far apart. He really fucked up when he thought he knew more of Xbox than I did. Cause, sorry man, I live that shit. Trust me, I know about Xbox, and Xbox knows about me. So fuck that. So Truity, what you doing, bro? What you doing?
What now?
Yeah, I mean, what you doing for the rest of the night? Cause I'm about to wrap it up. I got 5 more minutes.
I'm playing Asterigos.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, well, I want to say to everybody, thank you for coming out to this very late debate. It was fun while it lasted. I don't know when I'm gonna do the next one because at least next Saturday and the Saturday the Black Panther comes out, I'm gonna be busy. And whenever Thanksgiving is, which I think 24th or 25th. No. Hold on, bro. It's always on a Thursday, but it's not always on the same day. Oh, it is on the 24th. Okay, so it'll be on the 24th. What's that? Native American Heritage Day is on Black Friday? Huh. Okay. Well, that's nice.
That's nice.
Okay. Well, at least they don't call it Black Friday anymore. Okay, so
Oh,
Veterans
I didn't
Day
think
is the
about
10th, and God of War comes out on the 11th. Black Panther comes out on the 11th. Bro, that's a weird day, bro. No, 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 no. God of War comes out on the 9th. Black Panther comes out on the 11th. Thank God. Oh, that's right. Sony did change the date. I'm happy that they changed that date, because that would have been a problem for me. That would have been a fucking problem for me. There's no fucking way.
Honestly, I wanted them to keep it. I wanted them to be on the 11th though. It's weird to say that, but I wanted them to be on the 11th. Simply because they'll be taking freaking. It'll be a jab at Microsoft because they'll be taking their release date.
I know, but you gotta be smart, man. I know we love the console war. I know you love the console war, but if you want the hype for a specific day to be about you, don't put it out the same day as the sequel to Black Panther that everybody's gonna see, because the main you don't want to step on those toes, bro. You don't want to step on those toes. But everybody, I appreciate y'all coming out to this late weird debate.
I didn't even know you were starting. I didn't know you were streaming. I was freaking on the phone and I went to YouTube while I was to listen to some shit while I played.
That
And I
guy
saw you
got an
streaming. I'm
L
like,
for me. Okay, so we gotta see what y'all give him. We got 2 more minutes. Do you guys give him an L or a W? I'm giving him L because his lack of knowledge. And that multiple times when I talked about smaller PlayStation exclusives,
he didn't know.
he didn't know, and he first started to say he
Here's
didn't care.
the thing. Here's a funny thing though, Jay. As soon as you brought up your list, he immediately remembered. Oh yeah, I remember that. I'm not, bro. You didn't remember
Yeah,
that.
you
Nothing,
don't
bro.
remember
Stop
that.
it.
Like I said, when I said small PlayStation exclusive, did you hear when he said Kenna? I was like, nah, Kenna's a multiplat. Like, bro, like this is the thing. They don't understand that I understand what games are multiplats and exclusives. I would never set myself up for an L and claim that Kenna is a fucking exclusive, because it's not. It's a multi-platform game. That shit's on PC, it's multiplat. Like every PlayStation port that went to PC, multiplat. No longer exclusive. Can't brag about that shit no more. So,
but the thing is, being a gamer, you would know that though.
Current say he gonna give him an L just because.
Yeah.
Oh shit, bro.
Oh,
Y'all crazy. Nah, I mean his lack of gaming knowledge shows me that he doesn't really take this shit seriously. That's what that told me. You buy games here and there, and that's cool. I'm not telling you gotta buy everything, but as far as the future of gaming pertaining to PlayStation, you could care less if they sink or swim. And most PC fans have this notion that if they fucking sink, they still gonna make great games, but only for PC. And that is not how shit goes, bro. They need to educate themselves on the history of Sega and see what the fuck happened to Sega. Bro, do they understand that when Sega when they went down after the Dreamcast, they didn't automatically start putting games on everybody's platform? It took them years to become a third-party publisher. A few years. And then they came back and they was like, okay, yeah, we putting this out here. We putting this out here. And even then, they didn't put everything on every platform. So, nah, bro.
They have to have exclusive deals with other people to actually
exactly. One of those other people was fucking Nintendo. And they still had deals with Sony when it came to Yakuza. But lately, they've been feeling themselves. So now, they back to putting Sonic exclusive. They back to putting Sonic multiplat. And for the first time ever, they making Yakuza multiplat, which means they're not getting exclusive contract money from PlayStation, and they're going to have to hope that the Xbox fans buy the following Yakuza games. But I highly doubt that they are. like that new Yakuza they're working on, 8, which looks amazing. I do not believe they're going to buy that game on Xbox. That game's gonna sell boatloads on PlayStation. Sadly, it could have went to Switch, but I don't know. Either Nintendo said that game's too mature, or the creator of Yakuza said the game is too mature for the Switch. So either way.
My man.
I think Dante, you said you were gonna give him an L, but I didn't see the L. But I mean, he's not getting like a massive L. Maybe get a lowercase L, but he definitely fucked up on a lot of things. You know, like
at the end of the day, he's still playing games though. So that's on the end.
But see, that's why he's not the PC fans that we really looking for. He's an educated PC fan. He's a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the dudes we looking for. Even the dude that canceled on the debate, I don't think he's the dude we're looking for. These trolls that I don't want to talk to, that are running around masquerading as PC elitists, those are the dudes we're looking for, but we want them out of all communities. They're not healthy. You can't get a read on the PC community if most of the PC community is trolls. PlayStation think they're making a lot of money because a couple trolls went on the internet and said, if you put this game on my platform, we're going to make a lot of money. And they listen to that shit.
True.
It's not just their investors. Don't tell me it was the fucking only the investors. And if it was the investors, then they got some fucking sway from the people on the internet. That's why when you have a big court case, what do they tell you? Oh, don't look at TV. Don't look at the news. We don't want you to get persuaded by any outside, you know, anything outside that will fuck up your judgment. You know, nah, man. Okay, that's it. It's 11. It's 11:33. No timestamps for this video. I ain't even do shout outs. It's just a debate. Y'all come in when you come in and watch it later. I don't think we gonna chop. I'm not chopping up that many sections because he was all over the place, and I was all over the place trying to keep him in check. Nah, bro, fuck that shit. No timestamps, but we got timestamps on the Gamecast. Sorry, on the rant that I did, and we're gonna have timestamps tomorrow, at least 10 to 20 minutes after the show for the Sunday show. So please come on back to the Sunday show tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Verge Brizzle. I hope to see you on the Sunday show. We got a lot of fucking crazy ass topics featuring I want to call it dog shit, but I can't. Featuring Gotham Knights. I don't want to call it dog shit until I play the game. So, but I will be talking about those developers. I'm out. Truetti, have a good night. Glad you're not collecting L's anymore. Everybody.